We'll sip our worries away, nice and slow. Your laughter ripples like sweet warm wine. In this jazzy sultry space you're mine. The saxophone croons a velvet tune, while melodies dance beneath the moon. We'll toast to moments both grand and small, in this hazy, lazy, jazz-touched hall. Let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you. They sparkle with every click, sweet rendezvous over a simple drink. We'll share our secrets in whispers low, just you and me where the jazz flows slow. The world outside fades into the mist, but here it's our own dreamy tryst. With each sip our worries drift away. Let's stay together till the break of day. So let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you.
The following live stream has been approved for appropriate audiences. It may contain occasional strong language and may not be suitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer inebriation is advised, though not mandatory.
Good evening, happy Friday, and welcome back to Last Call. We have spent the last handful of years expressing how dissatisfied we are with modern sci-fi. Really, we've been ranting about how our favorite franchises have been co-opted and vandalized by modern-day cultural terrorists. But I digress. I want to go back to when sci-fi was great, when it not only told well-crafted, engaging stories, but laid out thoughtful warnings to prepare us for the future and hopeful visions to aspire to, and all in a way that could only be conceived in the days of disco and soft focus. So feather your hair and slip on those platform shoes, because this Canarble wagon is getting ready to boogie right now.
Last Call is streamed before a live audience.
Va salute and happy Friday! Yes, it is Friday. And, well, you guys know what I'm sipping on if you join me for liquid lunch. Give me just a second here. Oh, ha, 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 smooth, smooth, smooth. Welcome, everybody. Before I do anything else, before I bring in the panel, before I greet everyone individually, we have a birthday. Jesse Guajardo. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jesse. Happy birthday to you. Cumpleaños feliz. Cumpleaños feliz. Cumpleaños de Jesse. Cumpleaños feliz. I hope you are having a wonderful birthday. The fact that you would stop in to hang out with us on a Friday on your birthday, that is just wonderful. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. Let's get everyone in here. Starting with the lovely Netter of Netters Network. How you doing, my dear? What are you sipping on?
I thought you were going to say the lovely aged boomer.
The lovely aged. Now we'll get to the lovely aged boomer in just a second.
I'm actually doing really well. It's Friday night, so I don't have to work again until Monday, so that's kind of nice.
Well, you don't have to work for someone else. See, the weekends you usually work for yourself. I mean, that's
Today was a tough one because I was trying to get some stuff done and I kept getting interrupted. Y'all know.
You had like 3 meetings before lunchtime.
That was yesterday.
Oh, that was yesterday. Sorry.
But it's like I had some reports to get done, and I kept getting interrupted. It was making me crazy. It's like I can get them done if you stop asking me questions.
Leave me alone. Let me do my work.
And then just as I finished the last one, I get a ping going, "So did you get this done?" It's like I just finished it. Like leave me alone.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's been one of those days. But I am still only drinking my Polar brand seltzer water black cherry.
She's keeping herself sharp because she is the bouncer, so watch out for her. She is not just a pretty face. Now, the one that's coming in is just a pretty face. Look at this face. Look at that face. Agent Boomer, how you doing and what you sipping on?
I'm doing fine. I got a Coca-Cola Classic.
Mmm.
I wonder if in these dystopian futures we'll have Coca-Cola. We won't. We'll have New Coke.
We went. I was going to say we went through a period there in the late '80s, early '90s, where we almost went a different route. They tried to get rid of Coke. They tried to pawn off on us the sickeningly, cloyingly sweet New Coke, and we said no, we will not have it. And they changed it. Just remember, the biggest trick the devil ever played was to make you believe he didn't exist, and the biggest trick the system tries to play on you is to make you believe you can't resist. You absolutely can resist. This country wouldn't exist if we didn't have a tea party. The
horror cat dad says that would be crystal clear Pepsi.
He's right.
I don't remember what it tasted like.
It was horrible.
I did get it because my thought on the matter was a cola that doesn't have artificial colors, and if I so choose, I could add my own coloring so it can be, blue or green or red or, whatever Star Trek drink I wanted to serve. But there you go. So let me start by shouting out the wonderfully generous people in the chat, such as Ruby Hoove, who gifted a membership over on Netters Network. Thank you so much for the gifted membership too. Oh my gosh, this guy! Oh, I'm sorry, honey. You end up with this guy as a member on your channel. Well, it's still a nice thought, Ruby. No, seriously, though, thank you so much, Ruby. I super, super appreciate the support. You are wonderful. Then she gives another $5 just to say, have a fantastic Friday. Typing, though, so we'll listen. So she's doing other things. So she is multitasking. I'm so glad that you could be here today, Ruby Hoof. And you can join us on our little nostalgia trip into the 70s. Let's see. I heard another ching ching of change. So let me slide on down here to Aged Boomer. He dropped not a super chat, a gifted membership. Went to Domicile. Welcome to membership, Domicile. So glad you could be here. I believe you were recently gifted a membership over on Netters Network. So welcome. Good to see you. I can see that you are a 2A enthusiast, which always encourages me. So good on you, mate. Let me back up and say hi to all of you lovely people here in the chat. You are always a pleasure to see, and you make my weekend just by being here. Lady Miss dropping all the emojis that encourage us. The blue ones for Netta, the red one for me. Thank you so much, Lady Miss. By the way, you gifted me a $2 super sticker It was a farty fox at the end of one of my liquid lunches this week. I just wanted you to know that I saw that and I really did appreciate it. You are absolutely wonderful. Tree Rock Creations. I recognize those miniatures from Logan's Run. Yes, and we're going to be looking at a couple of other miniatures from Logan's Run. Moment. Big Al of Big Al Presents says, have a great show, my friends. So many great sci-fi moments in the 70s, but one for me. When I first got my hands on Splinter of the Mind's Eye in 1978. Up all night to get more of that universe. I might just be talking about that a little bit later tonight, if you can stick
I should have
with
put
us.
that in with the picks. I didn't think of it. Oh well.
That's okay. I've already looked at what you got. You got a splash that kind of covers the gambit, and I'll mention it at that point. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. How is there like a romance between Luke and Leia in that book?
It's
How
really
far does it go?
implied. Look, I just
Are we a
Netter
two-headed
and I.
Jedi in the future? I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Hey, the Lannisters got nothing on the Skywalkers. Netter and I were watching before the stream. Married couples, we have little jokes, and it makes you think about shared experiences, and we I don't remember what one of us said to the other, but it made me think of a very famous bad lip reading. And I'm like, we haven't seen that video in a long time, and I brought it up, and that led us into the Seagull song from Empire Strikes Back. It does bad lip reading on Empire Strikes Back.
Yes, the Seagulls.
Yeah.
I like the one we did for Last Jedi. It's very funny.
What I thought was so funny about that was, I'm pretty sure it was that one. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't that one. It was the Obi-Wan Kenobi about hiding in the bushes, love, or something like that. I don't remember what it was. And at the very end, Luke sits up from being hit by the Tauntaun, or by the Tusken Raider. He's like, I had this weird dream. I was getting kissed by this beautiful girl. He's like, that reminds me. I gotta talk to you about something. Remind me later. It shows all these clips of him kissing Princess Leia.
Funny.
From all three movies, and I was like, damn, they macked on each other a lot, didn't they? And that was canon stuff. We're not even talking about some of the promotional stills of them kissing. I'm just, Look, if Carrie Fisher was my sister, yeah, I'm just saying. But Netter is saying hi to everyone, and of course she's saying like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Only 136 more subscribers are needed for her to be monetized. So if you're not subscribed to Netter, make sure you subscribe to Netter. Let's get her there. Or are you talking about? Are you talking about? We also want to get Age of Boomer to monetization.
I have another little snip on his thing that says only 136 more.
I can't see what stream it's on. Remember? So I don't know who you're talking about. 136 more subscribers to get Aged Boomer monetized. Yes. So let's get him monetized.
Yes.
We need to get Netter watch hours is what we got to do.
My watch hours, I need about 2,000 more watch hours.
Yeah. So we got to get that going. My goal, of course, is 100 members and 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So we all need subscribers, guys. Make sure you're subscribed to everyone that you see in the description below. That includes all the members. They're all linked below. You can go to their channel and subscribe to them as well. Subscribe to everybody who makes this work. That is how you can support what we do here so that we can keep doing it. You're here. You must enjoy it. If you want us to continue to be here, we need your support. Absolutely.
That reminds me of a Larry King interview where he asked, never mind, someone if they enjoyed it, but we're not going to talk about that here.
Welcome, Jesse Guajardo. I hope you were encouraged for your birthday. Let's see. Connie Cleary, the Bird Woman of YouTube, Fluff Chick Productions. Salute, Deleted Scenes, Good to see you, my friend. He also says, do all the clicky things. As does Mark Malnikoff, who says, Hapla, drive-by like from the dilithium mines of Rora Penteda. Like, share, subscribe, and become a member. And remember, Troy was right. The force is strong with him. I don't know what he's referring to this time. He has a tendency to say Troy was right. Apparently, I make predictions, and he reminds me of them when they turn out to prove true. Let's see here. Give me a second. Let me get through here. Geek Flag when Nate knows. Like, share, subscribe, comment, become a member. And if you were going to give a super chat of $5 or more, why not make it a gifted membership and make our family grow? Absolutely. Great thought there, Nate. Super appreciate that. Let's see here. Lady Mist is wishing Jesse a happy birthday. I hope you all do likewise. Hola amigos, says the Horror Cat Dad. Welcome, Horror Cat Dad. So good to see you, my friend. Let's see here. And bear with me. Getting caught up. Planet of the Fantasy Island. There you go. Corin Clegane, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. David Pensek, welcome.
How come you didn't make Fantasy Island one of your picks tonight?
I did because I consider that fantasy, not sci-fi.
Because fantasy is in the title. I got you.
Well, and it's implied that everything that's done is either magic or could be perceived as magic. I mean, they treat magic in Fantasy Island kind of the way they did in The Good Witch, where it could be magic or it could just be real intuitiveness or serendipity.
I remember that Roddy McDowell was the devil on it, right?
Yes, he was. That was a great one. That was a great episode. Slasher Fred, welcome. Haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Roy Neary sees the building, the blinding bright light, and he sees the image of the mountain crater. This means something. Yeah. I say that every time I make a sculpture out of my mashed potatoes. Just, Of course, I've usually had a lot to drink by that point, so. Geek Flag says, Troy, sorry I missed the liquid lunch today, but work was, oh my God. I got to work at 12 p.m. and I was working even before I clocked in. I didn't even eat lunch until 3:30 p.m.
And
Dude,
I'm thinking, lunch? What's lunch?
Well, yeah. Dude, you don't have to apologize to me. First off, you could always catch up on the rewatch, but I know you're there for me, man. I know you're there for me.
Like on Friends.
Aldebaran is the Alabama of the galaxy. There you go. It is green. Tonight is the 45th anniversary. We learned who shot JR on Dallas. I did not realize that. That is absolutely true. And Andrea Black, welcome. Good evening, y'all. Welcome. Speaking of Star Wars, if you guys ever see the silent sci-fi classic Metropolis, the sexy female robot was the inspiration for C-3PO. That's absolutely true. If you look at Ralph McQuarrie's original drawings, C-3PO looked much more like... I'm drawing a blank on what her name was in Metropolis. I know Big Al's going to drop it in just a moment, just because I couldn't remember. I came in and I hear Troy admitting to being a potential incest if he has Carrie Fisher for a sister. Oy vey. Come on.
Okay.
Guys, am I right? Is there any other guy out there that doesn't agree with me?
I don't know if you read this comment because I didn't hear you say it, but you may have. Geek Flag 8 says Star Wars was in a galaxy far, far away in West Virginia.
Yes, I was just actually getting to it. You're absolutely right. Everyone rags on Luke kissing Leia, but it was always Leia who...
Her name was Maria.
Oh, Maria? Okay. Who took the action, the two pecks, and the smooch, all Leia. Good point. That is an excellent point, and something to keep in mind if any of these fourth wave feminists come out and try giving crap to Luke. Nope, he never initiated. He never initiated. It's kind of worse though that it was Leia, because as we know from Empire Strikes Back, you know, Luke's like, I never knew my mother, and Leia gave the impression that she remembers more than Luke. So she was more likely to know Luke was her brother than Luke was that she was his sister. Just my take on it. But also, I wonder if Han Solo, you know, in that scene in Return of the Jedi, when he says, yeah, I'll get out of the way, I don't want to cause any problems. No, you don't understand. He's my brother. And he's like, oh, great, you know. I wonder if he understood she meant that literally, you know, or if he took it as, oh, you're friend zoning him. He's like a brother to you. You want to get it on with me. Okay, cool. You know, I could take it either way, because the next thing would be if he realizes actual blood brother. Oh, wait, I've seen you guys kissing. Oh, man. You know,
It's funny you mentioned that. I remember, I forget, it was some kind of drama movie with Tobey Maguire, but there was some girl he liked, and she says, you know, you're like a brother. And then he's like, oh, great, let's take a bath together then. That's what he said. Because, never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, I'll keep quiet
Troy,
now.
speaking of sci-fi, do we have an update on Island in the Stars? I haven't seen one in a while, but Netter and I did get a... an update through the crowdfund. I'm not remembering. It was a couple months ago, so I don't remember the details. But you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. Maybe after the holidays, we'll get Tom Conkle back on for another update stream about it. Let's see here. Yeah, please, they want Luke to be gay. Exactly. That's true. That's an excellent point.
Well, what else is new?
Those first few pecks Luke got were non-consensual. I suppose that's true. Not that he seemed to have a problem with it. Luke's the real victim here. Yes, exactly right. Yeah, the sibling part was a retcon. They were siblings in the early drafts, but the other was meant to be a different Skywalker. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Welcome, Daniel Berry Sports Highlight. Good to see you, my friend. This Skeptic Tank. I hate the fact that they cut off your name. I hear the secrets that you keep when you're talking in your sleep. Oh, there you go. Good song lyrics. When I say early drafts, I mean the ones where they aren't even named Luke and Leia. Star Killer, right? Tom Conkle is still shooting the Island in Stars. Yeah, that's right. And Robert's Infinite Realms. What's up, party people? I'm still mourning the EVS of One World Under Doom. Started so strong, but ended up being everything I hate about modern comic books. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I dipped out of comic books a very long time ago, and have not been willing to give them
another chance.
the end of One World Under Doom. Gotcha. Will Splinter of the Mind's Eye. They weren't siblings, and if I'm remembering correctly, yeah. At the time that book was written, they were not siblings, but it's also been decanonized, so from their point of view, it kind of doesn't matter. In a way, it was kind of decanonized by Empire Strikes Back, because Splinter of the Mind's Eye was meant to be the sequel if they didn't get another film. So, but that is the beginning of the EU, and put a pin in that. We will get to that shortly. So let us go ahead and get to the topic at hand. Thank you again, Aged Boomer, for putting together this slideshow for us. The top sci-fi moments of the 1970s. So I do want to point out that, as I kind of alluded to in the what's it called, the monologue at the beginning, because we're older gents here and older lady, we do want to give some of you younger viewers a little bit of perspective from our wisdom and history, right? Just like color was not invented before the 1950s. You know, the 40s and earlier, everything was in black and white. The entire world was black and white until color was invented. By the same token, if you lived in the 70s, everything was kind of in a soft focus. And I don't mean everything was blurry. I mean, everything was clear enough, but just around the edges, everything was a little bit smoky, you know? And boy, you can look at pictures from the 70s, take a look at women's hairstyles. They were all perfectly shaped, but then towards the end they got like wispy and, you know, kind of flyaway, frizzy, some would say. And there was just something kind of sexy about that. Netter's hair still does that. She brings the 70s with her. When she takes her hair down, she's got that kind of thing going on to this day. The soft focus. I'm a lucky man, let me tell you. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, have you ever seen the movie Zodiac? The Robert Downey Jr. is in it, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Was that the one about the serial killer?
Yes.
I've heard of it. It's on my list. I have not seen it.
When I saw it in a theater. This is what's fascinating about David Fincher, I believe, directed that. If I'm getting that name right. The way he filmed it, it starts out in the early 70s, and it kind of has that 70s look, but when they get into the 80s, it's like the film changes. You understand, like the quality, it gets brighter. So it's almost like he's almost alluding to like the way movies looked in the 70s, and then when you get the 80s, it changes, it shifts the tone.
Well, look at
which is interesting. Yes.
What was that horror movie that took place in the 70s on a talk show set? That you
Late Night with the Devil. Yeah, it has that look to it.
Late Night with the Devil, very 70s.
Yes.
That's the way the world looked back then, folks. That's all I'm getting at. And Sci-Fi definitely had that look. Before we get into the main topic, I did want to bring up that so we've got our plans for next week's show, but I'm looking at 2 weeks from today. That's the first week in December, doing another karaoke stream. But it's up to you guys. If you guys want me to do another karaoke stream, you're going to have to vote with your dollars. If I can get, let's say, including ones that we've already gotten so far, we've already gotten 2. So if I can get 5 gifted memberships, or the equivalent in super chats, which would be, let's say $25 in super chats.
So you're counting the
Ruby Hooves for you. Okay.
You're counting any super chats or super stickers or memberships that I also got.
Yes, in both of our monetized channels. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So everything's included so far. So we've got super chat. We've got 2 memberships. Is there anything else? I can check.
Yeah, you keep track of that anyway, so I know you do. So if you guys want, to do some, and I'm kind of thinking like some holiday songs, Christmas songs, Thanksgiving type songs. Yes, there are Thanksgiving songs. So there you go. But anyway,
yes.
Let's get into those soft focused. So
we have 3, and
deep,
you're looking for how much?
25. 5 memberships or $25, however it comes out. The equivalent.
Well, we've got 2 memberships so far and $5.
There you go. We're going back to the days, like I said, soft focus, deep bass riffs, disco, bell bottoms, hip huggers. Well, unfortunately, men wore hip huggers too, and they looked ridiculous. but hip huggers on women were just flat out sexy. They really were. I mean, my gosh. Actually, all the styles that women had in the 70s were just flat out sexy.
May I answer a Tree Rock Creations question? Aged Boomer 11/21/2026. That means I am the one that created this little panel, and it's today's date. That's why it's there.
Yeah. Oh
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
that's all it is.
Yeah.
It's for my
Let's
own
give him
reference
credit
sake.
where credit is due. That is why I actually had to move around our camera and icons
Gotcha.
so that we didn't cover up his attribution. I don't want him to feel like he is not appreciated.
By the way, we forgot Alien.
We've talked about Alien a lot, though.
Okay,
You know.
and maybe I consider. I think in my head, I always categorize it as horror anyway, so that might be why I didn't think of it when I was making it my top 5. But yeah,
True.
Yeah.
That is true.
Of course, a lot of the stuff we're talking about
Did I
tonight.
miss Sashi? Sashi is here?
I don't know.
Yes, she's on my channel.
Oh, there you are. In the original Dirty Harry, the villain Scorpio was the inspiration to the Zodiac Killer. There you go. I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
I love Dirty Harry. I could talk about that all night, but yeah.
Well, maybe we'll do a stream about that one day. Absolutely.
Okay. So
Was there a Dirty Harry Christmas movie too? No, I'm sorry. Just never mind. Sorry,
There
Big
should have
Al.
been.
Sorry, Big Al.
I'd settle for a Death Wish Christmas special with Charles Bronson. Just
Dude. Yeah.
if you want a David Cronenberg Christmas, you could do Rabid.
I
Never.
don't know that movie.
Okay, it's something else. Anyway, okay.
Is Logan's Run good? You have no idea.
We'll get. Well,
Just wait. Stay with us. Wait.
I knew as soon as
Jenny Agutter.
I
Yeah.
knew as soon as I mentioned this, I knew the number one thing on his head was going to be Logan's Run. I knew he was going to be picking that one.
The number 1 and the number 2 thing on my mind would be Logan's
I
Run.
need to
That's
watch
right.
Logan's Run. It's been on my to watch list. I just haven't.
You've never seen?
I've not seen. I know the premise, but yeah.
Members. Those of you that are members, I want you to just. You don't have to do a super chat. Just do a regular chat. What if I were to do Logan's Run this Monday for our members stream? Let me know. Would you be interested? In fact, you can wait until after we talk about it here. I think you guys will be wanting to see it. Yep.
All right. So moving on. Should we just do the first thing?
Go for it.
So we have an honorable mention, which is another way of Troy getting in 6 instead of 5. I'm sorry. Wait, I didn't say that. But we're not going to spend too much time on it. But I am fascinated by this. What is going on here?
Have you seen this movie?
I have not, but it's Woody Allen and Diane Keaton. His
It
usual,
absolutely is. And I understand the entire collage here, except for the banana at the bottom. I don't know if that's a reference to his movie Bananas, which is also a very funny Woody Allen film. But Sleeper. It's a very funny, technically sci-fi film. I have to believe that this movie was the inspiration for, what is that? Futurama. It's about a guy from the present day who is frozen in suspended animation and awoken in the future. And it's a dystopian future where there is some sort of a rebellion, resistance against an oppressive government or something. And they want Woody Allen to help them because he's like outside the system. He hasn't been, tattooed and tagged and, he operates outside the system, right? And it's very, very funny, particularly because of a scene where, let's go through the slides that you have for it real quick, because we need to kind of get through that. So in one scene, he is trying to hide as a servant robot. He's pretending to be a servant robot.
It's like Mr. Roboto.
Yes. But the shtick here is that because he's a robot, he is meant to be providing a service that a human would not be able to function doing. There is a party, and it is a. How do I do this without getting demonetized? It is an adult party. You must be an adult to participate. And I have to believe that this movie was the inspiration for large segments of Demolition Man. because his job is to bring around a metallic orb that he hands off to the people at the party that induces feelings. It induces feelings that a robot wouldn't feel. So as he's taking it around to people, he's getting all. So that's the joke, and that's how he is discovered, inevitably, and that's how he is recruited by Diane Keaton's character to be part of this resistance against. God, she was so pretty. She really was.
And of course, we got all these artifacts. Oh, this was Playboy.
I was getting to that. He is brought into some archive by a scientist. He's like, look, you know, the fact that you are from the 20th century is a wonderful opportunity for kind of a little Buck Rogers-ish kind of thing. We have all these artifacts from your time, and we are hoping that you could explain them to us because we don't understand them. We have no context for them. And he's looking at these very mundane things that, of course, we all know about, but we could also understand how someone in the future would have no clue about it. And one of them is a picture of, I don't remember who it was. He said, no. The first one that he looks at is a picture of Joseph Stalin. He goes, oh, this was Joseph Stalin. He was a bad man. He had a bad mustache. I didn't like him. And then there was a picture of somebody else, and I don't remember who he was. And it was, oh, he had a bad mustache too. I didn't like him either.
Yes. And
they go through another couple of objects, and then he goes, what is this? And it's a centerfold from Playboy. And he goes, oh, this was a centerfold. This was from a magazine called Playboy. These girls, they didn't exist in real life. They were like, you blow them up, and they never mind. It's hard to explain. And he folds it up and puts it in. He goes, let me take and examine this, and I will give you a dissertation on this later on. And then they get to videotape. They put in a videotape. We don't understand what this is. And he presses play, and it's Howard Cosell doing a sports commentary.
Oh, no.
And the scientist goes, this is the one we are most confused by. The going theory is that you showed this to your worst prisoners as punishment.
Oh, funny.
And he looks at it and he goes, that's right. That's exactly what that was.
It almost reminds me of like Spirit of 76, but in reverse. That was another wonderful comedy, not made in the 70s, but it's about time travelers from a horrible dystopian future that go back to the 70s they're trying to go back to 1776 to talk to the founding fathers and get the Constitution to bring America back to its former glory, but they ended up in 1976 by accident, and they don't understand any of the weirdness going on. But
Tree Rock brings up Solaris. Well, first, that's not. Well, unless you're talking about the original, I don't know.
I'm assuming the Soviet Union version, right?
The Soviet Union version. Yeah, I don't know what year that was.
It might have been the 70s.
I don't think I have a copy of that version of it. I have only seen the remake with
yikes.
What's his name?
Clooney,
right.
Was Clooney in that? I don't even remember. I remember thinking it was terrible.
He was
when I saw it.
I saw it and I was kind of amazed by it. It kind of had a like a 2001 feel to it.
Maybe I need to revisit
quite
it.
As trippy. Yeah, Slasher Fred, God, slow down. You're getting a little ahead of us here.
Yes.
We're getting there. Let's move on. I think I spent more time on Sleepers than
it's
I.
Okay. I know Woody Allen's an acquired taste, but I always found him funny. I don't know. That's just me.
I don't like all of his movies, but Sleepers and Bananas are both great movies.
So here we have UFO from 1970. It was a television series, UK production, I believe, for ITV over there, so they spent money on it. Not that I'm picking on Doctor Who, but it had a higher budget. It was made by Jerry Anderson of Thunderbirds fame. You know,
Yep.
Thunderbirds. The
I
Titanic.
absolutely know Thunderbirds. You bet I do.
And I think what he did was he took a lot of his like model techniques he learned from that show, and let's put it in a live action series. And I watched this entire series a few years ago. I loved it. I think this is brilliant. I think it would be so cool if they could remake it, but I'm worried they would mess it up because they tend to mess up things now. Here's the
Yeah.
basic premise, though. It starts out in I think 1969, 1970, and you have an American officer. I think he's escorting the British Prime Minister in a car, right, like part of a detail. And then a
Right.
UFO comes in, and I think at that point the Prime Minister is looking over information. Says, "Look, we have evidence that extraterrestrials are flying, invading Earth, or they're abducting people on Earth. They have the saucer. So all these stories we've heard about people being abducted, they're all true." Except the governments are finally catching on because they're now starting to happen more frequently than they used to. And
Yeah.
at that moment, a UFO comes out of the sky and kills the British Prime Minister and the one American officer. His name is Stryker. He barely survives, and he sees the UFO flying off. Fast forward 10 years later, he's the leader of an organization called Shadow.
Yeah.
SHADO, which I believe is short.
Shadow. I'm sorry.
No, it has an acronym. Hold on.
Strategic.
Strategic something. Hold on. Acronym. No. Supreme Headquarters Alien Defense Organization. It was established by the governments of the United Kingdom, the United States, the Soviet Union, France, and Germany to defend Earth and humanity against mysterious aliens and learn more about them, while at the same time keeping the threat of alien invasion hidden from the public. So they also have a double thing. They have to keep it a secret from the public, but these are the defense. They have
little
a
Men in Blackish kind of thing.
Sort of, yeah. Not so far off. They have a moon base. They have an Earth headquarters, and they also have an undersea headquarters, like with a submarine, like a very fancy submarine, because they have to go. Because
do they get into the whole modern conspiracy theory about Atlantis and aliens underwater and stuff like that?
No, but who knows?
Oh,
they
they
might have gotten there eventually. Okay, because the thing is, they think they know the aliens, and they realize no, they don't. This was their working theory from the first episode. They think that they are like us, humanoids from another planet.
I got that reference, Sir Torin. Stryker.
Yes.
Striker. Boom.
Yes. And I feel that, what was it? Hold on, I lost my train of thought here. Oh yeah, here's what happens. They do kidnap one of the aliens. The theory one of the scientists came up with is that they came from another. That the idea is they came from another Earth that got spoiled. That they spoiled basically, right? Like for another planet, and I don't even think they can even reproduce anymore. But they're keeping themselves alive by kidnapping humans and harvesting their organs to keep themselves alive. So they're kidnapping.
Talk about that sounds so much like. So there's a storyline in Star Trek Voyager about a race that literally
they probably knocked it off from UFO.
I have no doubt
because it's Star Trek.
Right.
What can we take from whatever science fiction thing? I'm sorry. I'll be nice to Star Trek anyway. I don't think we have Star Trek on this list. I don't know what was big Star Trek in the 70s. There was motion picture and there was the animated series, I think.
It wasn't the motion pictures like 79 or something.
It might have been, and I think the animated series was going on in the 70s.
But honestly,
it's dormant.
I don't think it rose to the level of some of the things we're talking about
here. But this show, it had a good budget. These are the
I'll tell you what, that hairstyle has a very different. That does not age well, unfortunately.
Okay, I'll explain to you what's going on here. People make fun of this.
I know what's going on, but yeah, go ahead.
These are the ladies on the moon base. They're not the aliens. Okay, these are humans, and the reason they wear these purple wigs. The wife of Jerry Anderson, she came up with a lot of the ideas. She said that women with their long hair would go all over the place in space. So these are weighted wigs that you put over the hair, and it keeps your hair down.
That's kind of brilliant.
Yes. And like it's kind of weighted. Purple? Yeah. I don't know, because it's the future, and it's the future of the 1980s, and it has to, things have to look futuristic. This show got the 80s wrong. It's another one of these shows where they keep imagining
it's this concept of retrofuturism, right? Where there is this desire, and I saw this especially in the 90s when people wanted to emulate the styles they saw in Back to the Future. They had the special thing with Nike and the shoes and the self-lacing shoes and all that kind of stuff. And it was like, you know, I kind of dig that. I kind of really do. But real quick, I want to point out some of the background features. Those computer panels with the lights in the back,
Yes.
and especially up here,
Yep.
those star screens,
Yep.
very Star Trek like.
Oh yeah.
I dig that. I really dig that.
It's because, but the problem is this is local. Like the striker would love to go on the offensive. He's tired of those.
Dude, at least they don't have septum rings, okay? Let's let's give them points for that at least.
They
right?
can't. They can't capture the alien crafts because the alien crafts usually self-destruct if they get too close to them. So, like, he'd love to be able, because I think they'd love to be able to reverse engineer them and take the fight to the aliens rather than being stuck.
Can I
here.
say one other thing about the purple hair? It comes off as a uniform. Now that I know that they're not
It is.
aliens.
It kind of is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like everybody has the same hairstyle. It's just it. I like that idea.
And keep in mind, this organization has people of all types in it too. Like you have people from England, you have people from Africa. One of the pilots is from Africa, and they all have.
I like that too.
They
Yeah.
have to swear to secrecy, though. If you discover the organization, they'll be nice about it. They'll give you a nice little drug in your coffee that'll make you forget about the last 24 hours, so you forget that you saw a UFO. But they're not malicious. I mean, they're not lethal to humans because they're actually trying to protect.
Again, tell me this wasn't a precursor to the Men in Black, for crying out loud.
Well, the Men in Black, as we discussed, were kind of a real thing. So I guess they were sort of basing it on that.
Yeah, that's probably true. It's probably parallel development.
The aliens look like us, but they have green skin. And they actually explain why they have green skin. In order to travel through space, they have to submerge themselves in some kind of some kind of fluid, okay, to keep them, like, they kind of breathe it, actually, in space. They breathe like a fish would. Even though they're not aquatic, I think they have to change something.
I feel like that's a missed opportunity. I think they could have just as easily said they were genetically altered to have, like, a chlorophyll, so that,
maybe.
It could
Well, that's for the remake.
Supplement their... Yeah, well, there you go.
And the thing is, their skin turns green as a result. So that's not actually their pigment. I have a suspicion if on their planet they look like us. So it's a weird dark mirror thing where could this be us from the far... Well, not...
I got that reference too, Robert's Infinite Realms. The machine just keeps blinking lights. We have no idea. William Shatner. Yeah.
Great series. I unfortunately I don't have a picture of him here, but I love the lead striker. This
was connected to Space 1999.
It was not, but I'll explain to you why people think it was. But we'll get into that when I get because I'm going to be discussing that if I'm discussing this. One thing I like about Stryker, though, is that he's not a perfect man, even though he's running this entire organization. For instance, they do a flashback episode, and you see how his marriage fell apart because he couldn't tell his wife about what he was doing, and he was always away from home when she was pregnant, and it kind of destroyed his marriage. And if he'd have been able to tell her, maybe she would have understood, because this was about the defense of the earth, but they're all sworn to secrecy. Right. And then in a later episode, he has to get his son gets hit by a car, and he has to get this drug, but it's only available in the United States, but they have fast ships so they can fly it over there. But because his ship gets diverted to a mission, he said, we assumed you would have wanted that, sir, even though it was containing a drug. He's too late to save his son, and his son dies. And his wife and I guess her husband, that's
and
it's really so good. Dark. And it
is good story, though. It is good character development. They knew how to write stories back then.
And in a later episode, when he's stuck in the submarine and he's about to die, and he thinks he's about to die because they're losing oxygen and stuff, he's thinking back to that moment of his wife screaming at him about his son. It's like when he's about to die, he's thinking of the worst moment of his life, and it's just
that is killer. But tell me, people don't do that. I mean, Age of Boomer, the crew of the sub was a,
netting style uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I assumed it was hot under the sea, so they had a netting style uniform because they're stuck under under the water because I guess the sub got ran hot. So it was almost like a net, like a fish. Even the women
Yeah.
would wear that. I assume they had some covering underneath. This
Yeah,
was
I
very
was just
cute.
gonna say I don't mind seeing the women in.
Well, this was funny because this was 1970, so very progressive in the way that women are now holding higher positions, ranks of colonels and stuff in these organizations. But the men and women still flirt with each other.
I,
and no
I
one
do want
hates.
to. I do want this.
So,
this
yes.
isn't directly related, but I did want to mention that you just made me think of this. I was thinking about this recently. In comic books, when you talk about the pre-code, and pre-code means something different to comics than it does to movies. The pre-comic book code stories. Think of the Adventures of Superman, right? George Reeve, Noel Neal, right? Women, it was very progressive. Women were, they didn't need a man to protect them, right? They were go-getters. Think about Noel Neal as Lois Lane. That's how it was in the comics back then. Very egalitarian, very progressive. And then the code hits, and then Superman is treating Lois Lane. You're a girl. You're less. There's panels of him spanking her, and
Wow.
just incredibly abusive. And it's like, what the hell? I'm telling you guys, so-called progressivism is truly regressivism. We are going backwards from a better time. That's why we do what we do here and talk about the past like this.
But this was, I would say that this is forward thinking, this show, even though the human race is up against this nasty group of aliens that are doing bad things to the Earth. We're actually holding our own, at least. And
Yeah.
I would have loved for it to have gotten a second season. There were some great episodes in here. There was one episode with this guy that got a time manipulator machine from the aliens, and he was using it against Stryker. He was actually working for the aliens. He was a human working for the aliens, which was interesting. 'Cause usually the aliens just did their
This
own
is a
thing, but,
great
yeah.
sci-fi concept because if you have an alien race that is capable of reaching Earth
Yeah.
in from wherever they've come from, faster than light travel necessitates them being able to manipulate time.
It was like
That-
a limited time manipulation, like every 5
Yeah.
minutes or 10 minutes. But yeah, they had it. Yeah.
That the two go hand in hand, and I don't see that enough in modern sci-fi. Good point.
But great show. Only lasted the season. Great effects too. Jerry Anderson was very influenced by 2001: A Space Odyssey. So you see a lot of like precursors to what we would get in Star Wars with some of these projects. And
Yep.
it was a good looking show. And I hope it gets a Blu-ray release in the States someday. They've gotten it in England, but not here in the America yet. But
Yeah.
Moving on.
So the Andromeda Strain. This one I included because this story, this exemplifies what I think sci-fi exists for. It imagines a possible event in the future that we need to prepare for. That if you pay attention and use your brain, you can prepare for an event that really could happen. Go ahead and advance.
Oh yes. So this, it's funny. I have
So
the
the-
Blu-ray of this. I'm meaning to watch it.
Do you? Oh, you haven't watched it yet?
No, there's another one I haven't seen, but my mom always spoke highly. But I have it on Blu-ray though. I got the Arrow Blu-ray of this one. It was cheap. So
Those of you that are fans of Jurassic Park, this is the same author.
Michael Crichton.
Michael Crichton had a great way of doing what I consider to be hard science fiction. He made very fanciful seeming fiction seem plausible by understanding the science he was talking about. Andromeda Strain is a story about a contagion. Okay, now in this particular story, it's a contagion from, I think it's from outer space or something like that. Regardless, it's a contagion story a pandemic, if you will, and it addresses the problems, the shortcomings, the fears of a society that needs to prepare for something that really could happen. Gee, pandemics. Just saying. We didn't learn the lesson from our science fiction the way we should have. Just saying.
So what's special about this Andromeda strain? Is this a virus from space?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's almost not really relevant to the story. The bigger story is dealing with the pandemic. But yes, the origin is that it comes from space. In fact, you could even draw parallels to, was it Night of the Living Dead? Where the zombies are all coming to life because of a comet or some crap like that?
I thought that was Night of the Comet.
Or maybe it was Night of the Comet. I forget.
Okay.
But this idea... So, that... ironically, the sci-fi element of this, the Andromeda strain being a disease from outer space, is probably the most unlikely thing in the universe. The idea... So... I'm sorry to piss in anybody's cornflakes, but the idea that life on another planet evolves in a way that would be compatible with life on Earth, aliens that could mate with us and have offspring, diseases that could infect us, our bacteria could kill them off, is so astronomically implausible as to be net zero possibility. I'm sorry, that's just statistics. But be that as it may, that's the whole backstory for this. A comet passes through our atmosphere, drops off some bacteria that starts wiping out the population of Earth.
But you got hazmat suits here.
I'm gonna say, yeah. Jesse says, Troy, Michael Crichton would do a lot of research for his writing.
That's true, he would.
Oh, dude. When I read... So I saw Jurassic Park before I read the book, okay? Then I read the book, and I was like, damn, this is a good book. And it had me believing, it literally had me believing that Jurassic Park was possible. In fact, those of you that are fans of the show Friends, you know, there's one episode where somebody, I don't remember which one of the friends said it, you know, oh, that Jurassic Park, you know, that could totally happen. And Ross is like, no, it absolutely couldn't. The reason is because Michael Crichton did such a good job. A reader could totally believe that it was possible. Having said that, there's another book that he wrote called Timeline. If you haven't seen the movie, please don't. Please don't. Read the book and ignore the movie. I made the mistake of reading the book and then seeing that they made a movie of it and took my D&D group and said, instead of playing D&D tonight, let's go see this movie.
Timeline.
This is a great book. You're going to love it. We're halfway through the movie, and I turned and looked at him and said, guys, I'm really sorry. This is nothing like the book. I mean, it did basically follow the plot of the book, but it was executed so crappy. It was just terrible. Timeline does for time travel what Jurassic Park did for genetics. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. But yes, if you are a fan of anything that Michael Crichton ever did, you have to check out Andromeda Strain. And I encourage you to do so, especially in this post-pandemic era. All the people that were screaming on social media against what the government was doing during the pandemic, probably saw this movie. That's it. Full stop. I'm done. That's all I have to say about this movie.
Well, that's the.
But
that's
Boomer,
the
you haven't even seen this movie, have you?
No, but I do have the Blu-ray. I'm probably gonna watch it soon. I figure my mom's a big fan.
You
of it. I'll
have
watch
the
it whenever it makes
Blu-ray.
sense.
You really should, yeah. Did you say your mom's already a fan of it? She's
Yeah,
seen it?
she was a big thing on this movie. This movie was a big deal when it came out. I remember that. So yeah.
So what you do is you plan a family movie night.
That's
you
what I'm
play
gonna
this
do.
movie and you
We're
say,
gonna watch
"Mom, I'm watching this because a buddy of mine said
There you go.
I had to
That
see
you
it."
have to see this.
Yeah.
I did. Well, I think for a while you couldn't really get a decent copy, but Arrow Video they put out a very nice Blu-ray package a couple years ago. So yeah.
Back when Michael Crichton got in touch with a scientist that was trying to get DNA samples from amber, fossilized bugs, and they get some of that was around 10,000 years old. So a lot of people will argue that the problem with that is that DNA has a distinct half-life. You can't,
Yeah.
After a certain point, you can't. The DNA isn't viable, right? But the idea that you can dig into amber, extract the DNA, and reproduce it, that DNA might not be viable itself, but if it lays out the program, so to speak, and you can recreate it artificially using CRISPR or something like that, that's a very interesting idea. It's a very interesting idea. I want to say hi to Tim Hayes, who I didn't see earlier. Sorry if I didn't say hi to you earlier. Welcome, Tim Hayes. Just wanted to give you a heads up. I'd say about halfway to the next standalone Cantina video, just to encourage you. Slasher Fred says Star Wars, when Luke and Leia and Han are trapped in the giant garbage disposal. Dude, I'm working on a diorama. Just saying.
I used to have the Death Star playset where you came with the little foam pieces you put in there. Remember that?
Dude, I'm married to the Enabler. She got me a replacement for my childhood Death Star. And in the future, videos are coming. Just saying.
Did you need to run any commercials, or should we just keep going?
See, this is why you are my designated driver. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and do this because I've got some new bumpers for my promos.
Sounds good.
I think that Aged Boomer is going to really like.
I'm gonna check it out.
Be back in under 3 minutes. Hopefully, Netter will be willing to give me a refill because I'm broken.
I just filled that.
Sorry, I'm broken. Be back in under 3 minutes, guys.
You are watching Last Call, streaming every Friday night at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. Come on in, pull up a chair, and have a drink with us.
This week, on Saturday Night at the Movies, John McClane must race against time to save hundreds of lives, including his wife's, when a group of terrorists take control of Washington Dulles Airport systems and threaten to crash several planes if their demands are not met. It's the beloved Christmas classic sequel, Die Hard 2, this week on Big Al Presents Films with Friends, Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
Every Sunday evening, Aged Boomer and Last Call with Troy Pacelli bring you the rundown of the week's geek news, or at least what they think is interesting. You may have heard about it elsewhere, but Boomer and Pacelli spin it like only two old geezers can. It's Geeky Geezers, every Sunday evening at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
This week on Last Call presents The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. An unknown thief steals an important naval treaty from a foreign-off clerk. Sherlock Holmes sets out to find it. Fans of our Blake 7 series may recognise guest star Gareth Thomas. It's the Naval Treaty. This week on Last Call presents, Tuesday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
Did you top off your glasses? We now return to last call.
I mean, for those of you that were asking what Sophia actually looked like, there you go.
I knew she was real.
Dude, I've got a video planned for our next AI video. Just saying.
Okay.
THX 1138. Believe it or not, this one is boomers.
This is mine. I know there are people out there that hate this movie, and that's fine. I wonder what's the water cautionary tale with Star Wars Original Trilogy and the prequel. Anyway, sorry, I thought that was related to this. Yeah, we didn't do Westworld. Sorry.
I had it on my list, but I had to narrow it down to 5. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. THX 1138. This is, of course, George Lucas's first feature film, I believe. Right?
Yep.
Is this
Yes, it
before
was.
American Graffiti? And
yes, it was.
And this movie kind of gets maligned. I think they were picking on it a bit on Midnight.
I also have to say, 1971. This movie is as old as I am.
Yeah. This is, of course, what I would like to. I mean, it's not the first one. Basically, the 70s is the age of the dystopian science fiction movie, and
kind of.
This almost feels like a dystopia that has kind of forgotten what its purpose was for originally, and it's just kind of going through the motions.
And it's not the only one on our list tonight. We'll get to
it isn't. But this future portrayed in THX 1138, it's just, this is a horrible society these people are living in. Everyone's drugged up, okay? They're all taking their prescriptions so they can focus on things.
Kind of reminds me of, what was it, Fahrenheit 451? Was kind of like that, too.
This is in some ways worse, though. You have these robot, I guess, peacekeepers or police officers underneath them. They all have these shiny, like, metal mannequin faces, and it's just terrible. You have people that go to their job during the day, they come home. Robert Duvall's the main guy in this, and he's living with a woman, but they're not. And I keep thinking they're married, but they're not. They just stick random roommates with each other, but they have no sexual desire because they're taking these drugs to eliminate all that.
Yikes.
And I think the problem starts that when his partner, she stops taking her drugs, and then she starts removing his or giving him like fake drugs so that he can start feeling like an actual human being again.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, this is interesting. In dystopian future, sexual intercourse, reproduction are prohibited, and mind-altering drugs are mandatory to enforce compliance among the citizens and to ensure their ability to conduct dangerous and demanding tasks. Yeah, like handling radioactive like ISO rods that I guess power the robots. I think, and I think it starts with him dropping one by accident, and it causes a huge explosion, killing a bunch of other people.
So I'm just going to say, can you imagine a world where they wanted to lower fertility rates, but control your sexuality through, one way is to decrease sex drive. The other way is to make it so accepted and standard, as if, creating a movement that tells women being promiscuous is empowering.
Well, I think you're getting into like Brave New World territory. I think that was the other.
And maybe you can take this drug so that you can not have to worry about pregnancy, and you could be as promiscuous as men are. Just saying.
There's still apparently religion in this society. This is Robert Duvall going to talk to some kind of confessional, which looks like it has a picture of, I'm assuming, Jesus or Moses or some. It's not this explained. It's like some quasi-Christian religion that's not really Christian. It's this
kind of the way Dune had their Orange Catholic Bible, right, which was an amalgamation of different religions.
I'm assuming and he's talking to this thing, and I don't know who's responding to him on the other side. If it's a robot, I think it's a machine. I don't even think he's talking to a person. And right. There's like a scene later in the movie where one of the robots is just walking into a wall and then keeps walking into the wall. I think nothing is working right. It's almost like if a dystopian society where it was running properly, and now it's like a few hundred years after that, and like it just
think about this. Imagine
it's just terrible.
So my take on this was that technology had risen to a level, right? But humanity had dropped to such a level that humans didn't know how to fix the technology when it went bad.
Perhaps, yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
There's some weird stuff in this. He ends up having to go to a prison, which is just basically this area where everything is white, and you don't know where the floor or the ceiling is. It's like all white. Donald Pleasance, I think, is in this. He plays another.
There were actually some big names in this, which was actually
Yeah,
pretty
no, yeah, Robert Duvall, you have Donald Pleasance. There's this one guy that shows up later, and they used to watch these holographic screens. Like one has like naked tribal dancers, another holographic screen has robot policemen beating up some guy in the floor. Like that's supposed to be entertainment with a baton.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you mention that because that touches on some scenes for one that I got coming up in a little bit.
I got you. Yeah, and it's this horrible future, and later on, this one guy came back. I think the guy that was doing the tribal dancing, and he says, "Oh, hi, I'm from this other part. I'm a hologram." And I'm thinking, I don't think you're a hologram. I think they told you were a hologram, and your group that you're all holograms, and you just think you're a hologram. You know, you're a human being also. It's so bizarre.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And eventually he escapes because I think he gets too far out of the complex. Like, it's not worth chasing him down at this point, and it's just he gets out of there. It's so weird. I think people have described it. Maybe it was George Lucas described this as there's no real story. It's more like a few days in the life of someone stuck in this weird, horrible dystopian future. But I think it's genius. I know people out there hate this movie. And they think it was like a misstep by George Lucas early in his career.
No, I feel
fine,
like
but I think it's brilliant.
I think a lot of people misunderstand this movie.
Yeah.
This movie is literally American Graffiti in a different timeline. Or a different time period. No, I'm serious.
Well,
I'm serious.
I've not seen American Graffiti, so maybe we have to compare it to this now.
It's slice of life from a dystopian future.
Just awful. And it's funny because the version I saw, of course, is this George Lucas edit where there's some CG apes at the end. And I mean, to be fair, though, I would say the CG added to this was more inobtrusive, like how they did it with those Doctor Who or old Star Trek episodes. Where
Sure.
I don't think it stands out that much, but I'd be curious to see the original cut just to see what was in that scene with all the chimpanzees or whatever in this one area. But it was... I don't know. It's weird. This is a weird movie, but I'm still intrigued by it. I don't know if you've seen this one, Netter.
Netter, have you seen... I thought I showed you THX 1138.
No, that doesn't look familiar.
Yeah.
We're going to have to watch that again sometime soon.
It's just this is a horrible society, but it's intriguing, though. It's almost like treating human beings like ants. That's what it feels like. Like they're in a hive. Like if you created a society where they were stuck living in in a hive, basically, and how would you be able to accomplish that? I don't, and we don't know how it started.
Well,
you know,
I can kind of see progressing from where we are now. I could see a path that leads to this.
But like, there's no history. Like that's all been lost. Like this was a plan set in motion centuries ago. We don't know how long people have been down here. When he gets up to the surface, I think Earth is normal again. I could be wrong. We don't get too much. I don't know. It's interesting. You haven't seen it? Delete scenes. I'll stop talking. Then we'll move on.
Honestly, we probably need to do a THX 1138 watch party sometime.
Oh.
Yeah. So Clockwork Orange.
Stanley
This one
Kubrick.
I threw in another one that is a sci-fi. Well, sci-fi in that it takes place in a dystopian future. There's not a great deal of technology here. It's not hard sci-fi.
I would argue it is, though. There's little things like, for instance, let me show you this. I've read the book too.
Sure.
This was how can I put this? This was the writer. What's the future going to be like if we are on where we are now? Where are things going to go? And let's just say juvenile delinquency is a bit out of control in this future.
I feel like it's less technical sci-fi and more just a social sci-fi. A social.
Right.
This is how society could go. But there's nothing in the technology or scientific area that you're like, this isn't plausible. You look at this movie and you go,
Well,
kind
there
of
is
see this,
one
yeah.
thing they do his conditioning later, and we haven't tried that yet. Where
Dude,
he's
I
violent.
disagree strongly. I think that we have some MK Ultra type shit
All
going
right,
on right now that people
okay.
are not paying enough attention to.
This milk that they're drinking, I don't know if it's properly explained in the movie. Maybe it is.
It's a
But
drug.
It,
It's a
it's
drug.
it's laced with all sorts of kind of drugs, and
Yeah.
he goes to these bars. Again, this is probably something society should not have legalized and be serving to people because it's not helping with these juvenile
But
delinquents.
again,
Let's say.
but again, just saying, the drug trade is the way it works is not the way you think it does. And there's things happening that bring drugs into this country that are illegal, but there are certain power players that want it to happen, so it does.
I read the book this was based on, and the book, oh my goodness, it is filled. And I'm trying to remember if it was first person narrator. All the future slang is all over the place, and you have to
I
really
love
be
that.
paying attention to when you're listening to it because he's not talking like a modern British person. He's talking like
A
slang that hasn't
future,
quite been invented
yeah,
yet, and
yeah.
describing.
I've when I was years ago, I had a character who was a thief in a Dungeons and Dragons. I think 3.0 rules I was using, and I loved the idea of the thieves' cant. So I started looking into the slang of the underclass from the Victorian era, which is basically what thieves' cant is.
Yeah.
And so I wrote out this glossary to use in game, and I love that idea of using slang in storytelling. This is effectively what this is: imagining a future slang. I love that idea.
Yeah, it's a brilliant movie. It's Stanley Kubrick. I'm probably not doing it justice with what I'm saying about it, but it's well worth checking out. Malcolm McDowell
Yep.
is in this as in fact, who is the main charismatic antisocial delinquent interest? Interest is classical music and ultra violence. They always talk about the old ultra violence, right? They keep bringing that up.
Yep.
And Alex DeLarge, that's his name. And his gang all wear these suspenders with the bowler hats, and they go around town wreaking havoc, including breaking into, just going to some guy's house. Just Clockwork Orange, such a very classic movie. Kubrick would later use the theme very similar. And The Shining, interesting.
Yeah. So the idea is this idea of negative reinforcement to literally brainwash somebody who displays antisocial behavior to become negatively disposed to violence, sexuality, any of the negative behaviors that they expound. And it's literal torture is what it really is. I mean, this is he's being forced with his eyes open and getting eye drops dropped into his eyes so he can't look away from a screen showing, violence and sexuality. He's got things electrodes connected to his head, and he's given certain drugs that causes him to become distressed and sickened by these stimuli. And it's based on operant conditioning. This idea that there was and this is true, but I think it's overly focused on this idea that you could give up bad habits through negative reinforcement. Like I want to quit smoking. Every time I want to take a cigarette, I snap a rubber band on my wrist, or I get an electric shock or something like that, to make me opposed.
Right.
It changes the pathways in your brain. That's the idea behind this kind of treatment here. Well, he is a member of a gang of kids that go around committing sexual crimes and destroying property, smashing up people's houses for fun and so forth. I mean, we haven't seen anything like that in the real world, right? We haven't seen that, out on the left coast or, in relation to any political movements or anything like that. Just saying,
Well, it's just, and it's a great book. I know that I think the American book cut out the last chapter from the British version,
Yep, yep,
which
yep.
is always interesting because I think I've read the full version.
Mm-hmm.
I think because maybe Americans couldn't accept a reform. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
But classic though. Recommend Clockwork Orange definitely.
Absolutely.
Should I move on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, 1972. So this is number 4 in the original Planet of the Apes series, coming after Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, and Escape from the Planet of the Apes. The Revolt of the Apes. Yes, so last time we checked with this series, Zira and Cornelius, right?
Right.
They end up getting into some weird escape pod and time travel back in time to modern America, and of course end up conceiving a child. Of course, by then the government is after them because they realize, oh, this future they're coming from, there's no good place for humans. These people are a threat to the world and national security. She ends up getting killed, and we think their kid gets killed, but it turns out the child was swapped out for a circus chimpanzee, a baby circus chimpanzee. And Ricardo Montalban decides he's going to
Ricardo Montalban, that's absolutely right, yeah.
I almost argue he's Mr. Exposition because he does exposition in this movie too, like he does in Wrath of Khan, where he's explaining to now the
good point. Yeah.
Grown up Cornelius Jr. there, where it's like, okay,
because
so
it's just like liquid gold listening to him talk. That's why.
Exactly. So apparently a virus from space, those darn viruses from space, killed off all the dogs and the cats. So human beings started using apes as pets. But then the apes started getting, more intelligent and taller, so then they just started to use them as forced servants, otherwise slaves, basically.
Slaves,
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a lot to happen in, a 20-year time span. But
so I did like the fact that in the modern Planet of the Apes movies, they kind of do a story where they talk about a genetic manipulation that they're doing, basically trying to cure Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah,
but it ends up affecting the apes and making them intelligent and changing their genetics. Eventually, they become able to talk. It explains in a scientific way.
And then that same virus mutates and also starts killing off humans.
And
that was
starts killing off humans, and those that survive end up losing the ability to speak.
Eventually, yes.
And it also kills off dogs and cats. Did you catch that? It's a minor just mention.
Oh, in the originals, I didn't realize that. No.
No. In these modern stories, kind of an allusion to this story. Yes.
So yeah. This one back here, though, these were considered family films, which I find interesting, considering they have dark subject matter.
Very dark subject. Well, we've talked about this before in the pre-PG-13 era. They did not mollycoddle children. They assumed that children were far more capable of dealing with things than helicopter parents of today seem to think they can.
All of these movies have dark endings.
Because they're meant to be cautionary tales. Yes. That's really if I was going to give tonight's topic an underlying point, good science fiction warns you about possible things you should be watching out for. And as I look at the world around me and the way things are unfolding, I'm like, what have you guys been paying attention to, you dumb shits?
So this is another, I would argue this is yet another 1970s dystopian movie. It's funny because with the Planet of the Apes movies, this drives me crazy. How Hollywood did sequels back then is, we'll make a sequel for half the budget. And then when they would do a sequel to that movie, let's cut the budget in half again. And then when they would do the number 4, let's cut it in half from the previous one. So they're really
In
stretched
fairness,
thin.
in fairness to that, in
Yes.
fairness to that budgetary concept, keep in mind that they had spent money on the first movie that had payoffs down the line.
I know, developed the makeup technology.
Once
and
you
everything
create
else, yes.
makeup technology, let's face it, this is why they kept recasting
Roddy McDowell.
Roddy McDowell. He was just using the same what do you call it? It's over and over again, you know.
Um, it's funny if you get the Blu-ray of this. It says you have like this future orangutan, and he's talking about and thus the children of Cornelius, the child of Cornelius would become Caesar, and he would rise up and kill his oppressors, and that was good. Like he's reading from the Bible or something. Like
Yeah.
And it was funny. So this is a horrible dystopia, like most of these 1970s future movies. Men wear suits with no ties. This was supposed to become a thing. Same thing
Right.
on UFO. I forgot to mention on UFO, the men wore suits with no ties. This never happened. We still have ties today. Los Angeles or modern California resembles a police state in this future. They actually picked newly constructed buildings to shoot this around to sort of at least give it like a near future look. And I
Near
got to tell you,
future,
I
yeah.
almost think this is some brutalist architecture they must have built
Yeah.
in the 1970s. This is an awful future. The apes, people are protesting the apes took all our jobs because, of course, you can't be waiters anymore or anything else because the apes are now doing that. And it's just it's awful. And of course, Caesar, he's the intelligent ape of the child of the future. Oh, wait, what's this? Also said parental guidance suggested this should be a clue that there may be some strong themes.
Yeah, so there was this idea that if you say parental guidance suggested, it's like, parents, this isn't rated G. There are some themes you may not think are appropriate for your children. Maybe check it out. Unfortunately, as parents started to take PG as, oh, well, okay, if I can take my kid to it, I'll take my kid to it. And I went with my mom, like I've said many times, I went to see Poltergeist and some other movies that kind of effed me up a bit. She kind of questioned whether or not she should have taken me to those movies. And then as I got a little older, and it was probably fine and appropriate for me to see movies like Gremlins and Indiana Jones Part 2, but for younger people, it was like, yeah, maybe we need to make it much more clear. Maybe if your kids aren't 13 yet, maybe don't bring them to see this.
Hence PG-13.
Yeah.
This is a getting back to this though. Did you know that they had to heavily cut this movie? The ratings
Yeah,
board were like,
yeah.
you ain't getting no PG with what you put in this movie. If
I did not know that. What kind of content was in this?
A lot of blood. One guy gets set on fire in one scene, which they oddly enough they leave in the trailer.
It's very interesting that in the 70s, what constituted not getting a PG-13 was violence.
Yes.
I feel like that has kind of reversed itself. And we'll get to that later in one of my other movies that I want to talk about tonight.
So, if you get the Blu-ray, it's very neat because they give you both cuts. So you can actually watch the original unrated version as it was intended. The ending is different.
Is it?
In the original ending, in fact, let's get to that. Let's get to the final speech.
Sure.
There's, of course, an ape slave revolt, and they actually beat the humans. And there's this.
I remember the original ending that I saw was very topical.
Yep.
It was very I don't know if you'd consider it woke. I don't think it was woke.
It was topical. It was maybe
addressing culturally topical. It was addressing racial
tensions
issues
in the country, yes.
And racial tensions.
But in
it was very clear that's what it was. But it was done in the way that we've always talked about, where it's absolutely appropriate to talk about those things. Those things belong in our art, but they should not be cudgels used to tell us this is what you ought to believe. It was used as, look, this is a problem. I want you to think about it. What is the solution? We're not going to tell you what the solution is. You think about what the solution should be.
Yeah. And well, this is what this gentleman to our right was doing, right? He
Yep.
was his name was McDonald, and
Yep.
he was basically he worked for the governor, but he was wanting or be you don't have to beat the apes, you can sedate them if they get out of line. Don't he was more about being, you still treat the animals with some humanity, okay? You don't
Yeah.
you don't treat them like they are. But and he was sort of sympathetic to Caesar's plight, but of course he's there and the governor's there on the ground. And the governor was rather nasty. He's a great villain in this movie. He's like,
Yeah.
this will be the end of human civilization, and soon we'll be living under a planet of apes. And he's freaking out if we lose this fight.
He said
And
the thing. He said the thing.
and Caesar is just he's because the Malcolm McDowell he's giving this speech and he's saying and
Roddy McDowell.
yeah, Roddy McDowell, excuse me, and
Malcolm McDowell was the previous.
yeah, that's right. I'm related anyway.
That's fair.
And he's going and we'll plot and we'll plan and we'll hide in the shadows and we'll come up with our own government, our own religion, and
Yeah.
our own armies, and that day is upon you now. And he points at him, and
What's
Go
great about this is that it, and it's not like we have anything in the modern day like this,
Right.
but this idea of we should be kind and humane to animals, but reasoning creatures, it's fine to kill them if we don't agree with them. Just saying, this warped kind of mentality.
Well, it's funny because McDonald's yelling at him and he's going, I
Yeah.
ask you show some humanity. And he says, I was not born human. That's what he says in a retort.
Yeah.
It's actually interesting in the remakes how Caesar's a bit more nuanced because like he learned something at the end of the second movie because he thought, because he gets betrayed by an ape or whatever, he realizes we apes, we're not morally superior to humans. We have the same moral failings as they do. He made that point. But in this, he's kind of on a superiority kick. And in the original cut, his wife, I guess the female he made it with, she goes, no. Remember
Yeah.
how in the original Planet of the
Yeah.
Apes movie they said the first word ever come out of Apes was no? Well, that's in
Yeah.
this. And she says, well, we can afford to be humane for a time. In the other cut, though, that doesn't happen, and the apes and the gorillas and the chimpanzees, they beat the governor to death with the rifles, with the butts of the rifle, and they just wail on him. And it ends that way, And it's
I think both probably work really well. I think both.
They're
probably
both
work
good
really well.
endings, but one's darker. Like the one that's darker, it's almost like there's no redemption for Caesar because now he is the monster.
And there is this element of there. It doesn't matter if you're ape or human. There is a sentience problem, right? There is a tribalism problem. It doesn't matter if you're human or ape. It doesn't matter if you're black or white.
Right.
It doesn't matter who you are. You have the propensity for what we call humanity and what is real humanity, which is very animalistic. It's very us against you. We will survive by killing you. And I see that in modern society. When you have a media and a class of people that say it's okay to kill people that disagree with me. I see that and I think there is no humanity. You are animals.
It's weird because the governor says in this, when he says, "Why do you hate us so?" Caesar asks him, he says, "Because you remind us, every one of us, there's an ape still in there, or the beast trying to crawl out that we have to shackle, and you remind us of that." That gets Caesar really angry at him when he says that too. He gets furious. But it was actually interesting from the governor's
Which is
point of view,
ironic
that's how he saw him.
because when you think about the fact that humans really are primates, they are just a branch away from these other apes, right? That think they're so superior, and they are forced to see that we have way more in common than they realize. But that also forces the more and more intelligent apes to realize the same thing, which goes back to the first Planet of the Apes movie.
I don't know though. I saw some things in that Planet Earth documentary that chimpanzees do, which disturb me, which I guess certain humans like Ed Gein have done as well.
Yes, yes.
Cannibalizing a member of a tribe they were fighting. Yikes. Okay.
Cannibalism,
Ugh.
murder, assault. Can you say assault when it's not connected
Yes.
to another word? I don't
I
know.
think so, yeah. Here's what I don't get, though, in this movie, though. That the guards are able to just drag these apes around and put them in. Like, you could do that with a chimpanzee. He'd break your back. It's like,
Want to welcome Domicile. I saw you were just recently gifted a membership.
welcome.
Actually, to both of our channels on different nights. So welcome. Also, looks like Domicile, you are a 2A enthusiast. You are in good company, my friend.
Well, that's the whole argument. Are we fallen angels or risen apes? Right? That's what the whole thing. That was.
Damn, I never thought of it that way before.
Anyway,
Good point.
maybe both. Anyway,
Yeah,
Netter,
yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw this
Dirty
movie.
apes.
You
Okay.
dirty.
Well, no, it's
dirty
funny because like the reason what causes all the trouble in the beginning was that he sees the ape being mistreated and he says, "Oh, you human bastards!" Like he yells out, and,
Yeah.
and like that's when they start suspecting that it was an ape that said that.
Yeah.
They and poor Ricardo Montalban, they're trying to interrogate him, and they remember Doctor Who, the mind probe, and Five Doctors, not the mind probe. They do that to Ricardo Montalban in this. It's like
Right.
not the mind probe, and he throws himself out a window to avoid.
Yeah.
Did you see this movie, Netter? Just out of curiosity, I don't know if you.
This is the one that supposedly takes place in the modern day with Ricardo Montalban as the circus.
Yes,
leader or
and
whatever.
this is
think
the
I've
ape
seen
revolt.
Actually, now that I think about it, Ricardo Montalban is in the previous movie too.
He was
so-
younger in that because
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
like this is the horrible dystopian future where every like American society is turned into a police state. They were making,
And that's why Roddy McDowall is playing the chimpanzee. He's basically playing the character's
his son, yeah, because he's.
Yeah.
I don't know though. What I find funny though is normally I'd be like I'd have to be on the side of the humans, but this future is so awful. I like the only good people in this were the Roddy McDowall character and this McDonald guy here. They're like the only good
Yeah.
characters in this. Not
Yeah.
even really Caesar at the end. I think Caesar's kind of crossed over, unless you watch the theatrical.
Well,
cut,
and
I
that's
think
a
he
perfect-
pulls back from the abyss a little bit in the theatrical.
I do
cut.
feel like it shows you how a sympathetic character can be pushed to,
and that's sort of what
to
happens.
absolutism, and I see that happening a lot right now.
Yeah.
When you push and you push and you push against a certain group of people and keep calling them horrible names, they start to embrace that and they become what you villainize them as.
So I think we'll move on. I think that's a good end point for this.
Soylent Green.
I won't spend too much time on this, but this is, of course, another dystopian movie of the 70s. I think might be kind of dated
Reminder:
at this
we
point.
are talking about films that are more than 40 years old, so we're gonna spoil the fuck out of these. You guys should have seen them by now. If you haven't, definitely check them out, but don't get pissed at us that we.
And as we're talking about, it might even intrigue you to watch them.
Exactly.
I mean, that's how come I watched Heartbreak Ridge. Normally not.
I literally told her the whole story of Heartbreak Ridge. You could argue that I spoiled the whole movie for her, but in doing so, she's like, I want to see that movie now.
Yeah, because sometimes telling about
Yeah.
telling the story of the movie is what makes you want to see the movie.
Yeah, exactly. This is, of course, Charlton Heston.
Note that this is another PG film. Very dark, very, very heavy storyline.
There's some
But still
heavy
PG.
other scenes in this movie that I'm surprised for a PG. I'm just saying. If you catch my meaning.
Yep.
Okay. Charlton Heston is in this. So is I think Edward G. Robinson actually as his older friend in this. This is of course a future where population got out of control, which I don't think is going to happen because now that everyone's worried about the birth rate declining. But back then it was always about overpopulation. And
Well, I would argue that this fear back in the 70s has caused certain power brokers to take actions unilaterally that has had a dramatic impact on fertility rates today. And I'm telling you, when humans go effing around with nature, they run the risk of eliminating themselves
Look
from
at
the
China.
evil. Yep.
Just saying, China had that
Yep.
policy. But anyway, if we look at this though, this is something where riot control just scoops you up and throws you in the back of like a truck or something. I always thought that looked kind of fun. I feel like an amusement park ride, right? And of course, there's also problems with the environment. Food is getting hard to come by. Like if you want to get a jar of strawberry jam, it'd be like $1,000 or something like that. But there is also Soylent Green, which I guess the government provides, right? You can eat Soylent Green.
They argue that, or they claim that this food.
It's from the ocean.
This is a very, very socialist society because humans are unable to provide for themselves. The government provides them with food rations. These food rations are Soylent. Other code names. There's different colors that are keyed to these different foods. And one in particular is Soylent Green. This is the most recent one. They claim that this is made from algae from the ocean.
Yeah.
Is what they claim.
Now, should we do the big spoiler? I don't know, or maybe we should.
We should, because in order to talk about the basic story, we really kind of have to spoil it. Soylent Green is people!
Yeah, that's the final scene. Taking the dead bodies and recycling
overpopulation
the protein.
problem, you have like garbage scows coming around taking, bring out your dead kind of situation. They take them to a processing plant to turn the bodies into protein that is made into Soylent Green to feed to other people. You can
also like volunteer.
Yes, there is what do the Canadians call it? Medical assistance in.
Oh yeah.
Now, what's nice about choosing it yourself is that remember, this is this place that's just the hive of wretched villainy.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is dirty and bland. There's garbage everywhere and all this. And they bring you into a room. They give you the drug that's gonna kill you. But then you get to watch like whatever scene you want to watch. You can watch mountains,
beautiful
or
vistas and a sunset, beautiful music as you expire.
Yeah. So those are your last things.
Well, the weird thing is, and Charlton Heston sees this like, oh wow, the Earth really was that green once, and he's seeing like the deer and things, right? And he's like, wow, this all his stories were real about the past.
Yeah, it's an interesting film.
Edward G. Robinson's final film. He had to go on. It also had to go on his director's father died. Didn't know this. Max Fleischer. Okay. But yeah, it's just I don't have much to say about it. I don't know. It's probably dated now, I guess, at this point. But it was still impactful when it came out.
Yeah, this whole idea of, and honestly, what bothers me is there's still people that believe that we are overpopulated. The only people that could possibly believe that have never left the city.
Yes.
Because if you have never traveled outside of your city, or driven from one city to another, you haven't seen open plains, open land, where your nearest neighbor is, 25-minute drive away,
Yep.
There's a lot of land out there that you could be living in, and you have chosen to live in highly condensed cities. Just saying. This fiction puts everybody, makes you really appreciate government cheese.
That's funny. Well, I'm sorry.
No, absolutely.
Now I wonder what's in the government cheese now. I'm just saying.
I may one of these days do a liquid lunch talking about government cheese. That's a very interesting history. Oh. Real quick. I don't know if I can I can't. Give me a second.
You can.
I'm going to take you out for a second so I can go big. Yeah. Working on
oh my goodness!
His head fell off. His head.
Oh no! It's the end of the Bionic Man.
That is a bummer because
was it sealed?
It literally snapped off. So it's a custom head of Lee Majors. But yeah, I'm gonna have to buy a new one now. $6 Million Man action figure in Mego scale. The original, of course, being a 12-inch figure. Oh, this is killer. This just shoots me in the foot. Finding
Sorry,
out that
man.
my custom figure is broken in the middle of a stream that I wanted to show it off.
Well, that's what they make the
Yeah.
Craggle for, right?
Well, how the heck to the head, Brady?
I have no idea.
Is it the neck part?
The
that
neck
broke?
the neck tab snapped off. Yes.
Did your action
You can
figure
replace
Svengoolie
that?
come in and just
We
snap
can
his head
replace it. We have the technology.
off? What if the figures come to life at night and they start attacking each other? You ever think about that? I'm just saying.
But
There we go. The $6 million
so
man.
I had all of the toys. They were all 12-inch action figures. Well, not all of them. I didn't have any of the Bionic Woman stuff. My mother was really resistant to me buying any female characters. Even in the superheroes, she didn't want me to have Wonder Woman and the Invisible Girl, and I'm like, they're all superheroes from the same line. What's the problem here? No, she didn't want me to have any dolls. It was okay with her that I had action figures. So I had all of the $6 Million Man stuff. My cousin Tammy had all the Bionic Woman stuff. So there was that. But this was a TV series based on
book,
forgetting
right?
the author's. I'm forgetting the author's name, but the book series called Cyborg.
Yeah, because he's a cyborg essentially, right?
Exactly. What was sad about this? I mean, this is a great example of aspirational sci-fi. This idea of replacement limbs that are cybernetic. We're just now getting to the kind of technology where this is even plausible. And what was Lee Majors even said that he would do guest appearances and he would meet young fans that had prosthetic arms and legs and so forth. And they're
Awesome.
like, how can I get these kinds of bionics? And he's like, it's all fiction. It doesn't exist yet. Someday, but not yet. And it really hurt him because he was like, I feel like I'm portraying a lie to these kids. But some of the kids would say, well, okay, it's something to look forward to.
It's inspiring about what could be, and this is what puts the idea.
Honestly,
this
this was a big influence, and
Yeah.
just like Star Trek influenced so much technology.
And
that
we've
comes
had
since then.
advancements in prosthetics.
Absolutely,
far since then.
and now because of the different kinds of materials that we have that we didn't have back then, the fabrication abilities, 3D printing and stuff like that. But now they're even starting to be able to figure out how to integrate electronic circuits into the neural system, so that literally by thinking you can open and close the hand instead of. I don't know how many people know this, but until very recently, you would have to, like, for example, have a very tight fitting arm that would you'd have to squeeze the bicep to cause the hand to open and close, for example, which was very clunky. But now they can literally integrate the neural pathways from the individual fingers into the brain.
We're getting there, yeah.
So that you can open and close, and in some cases have a rudimentary feeling of how tightly you're gripping things. They're doing the same thing, kind of like Star Trek, Geordi's visor.
Right.
They've got rudimentary technology like that. It really, really is amazing. This is a great example of sci-fi imagining technology that we need and want. And then, now, of course, they turn this guy into a superhero. Not only are they replacing his limbs and an eye, but they're giving him superhuman abilities so that he can jump really high, he can run really fast, he has the strength to lift a car, for example, and things like that. He's got telescopic vision and things like that. The book gave him abilities with his eye that the show didn't until over a decade later, where he could shoot a laser beam out of his eye, and he had a camera in his eye that he could take photographs of things and so forth.
Well, I think it's interesting to keep him still human, though. I mean, he is still
Yeah.
human, even though he has
Yes.
some cyborg parts in him.
I'll tell you, the pilot episode. Well, there were actually 3 pilot episodes, but the original pilot where he first gets his. First I should point out, every episode opens up with scenes that were used in the pilot, where it shows his accident. He was flying a lifting body experimental plane that crashes, and it's what caused his accident. Well, that footage actually came from a real accident where a real test pilot was badly injured and lost an eye and had damage done to his right arm and both legs in reality.
Wow.
Which is just wild to think about, but yeah. Yes, in the 70s, and often shows before the 70s, they all had their Christmas episodes. I wouldn't call it a Christmas special, but a Christmas themed episode.
This one had a Scrooge
This one was
analog.
the crossover. This one was a crossover with Bewitched.
Right.
That's a joke, by the way.
Okay, I'm just saying. Moving on, though, we also had of course, let's talk about.
So
Bionic
this was
Woman.
a spin-off of the Bionic Woman. It was originally meant to be just a single storyline where Steve Austin, the Bionic Man, has a girlfriend who is a tennis pro. In fact, I better not bring this one up on camera because she. Let me go back to my full screen. I have not yet finished this
Ooh.
figure, so I can't show you the whole figure on YouTube. But she'll look like this when she's fully dressed.
Look at that.
But she is wearing jeans and tennis shoes. Yes, I have a custom of that one as well. She was a tennis pro who, during a skydiving accident, had her right arm and both legs crushed, and damage to the left side of her head that caused her to lose hearing in her ear. And she was going to die. She was absolutely going to die. And Steve, who is a government agent, he was a NASA astronaut, who think RoboCop, right?
Yeah.
He's saved by a government grant, but that means he's basically an indentured servant as a government agent to use his abilities as a spy, right? And super agent. He says, look, to the people, in the agency that he works for, I want you to help Jamie. And they're like, we can't. It costs, $6 million just to, we don't have it in the budget. He's like, look, I've done so much for you guys. If you want me to keep working for you, you need to do this for me. And it's great storytelling because there's a little bit of government, okay, fine, but then she's going to be working for us too. You're both going to be slaves to the government. And, and he kind of speaks for her, so she doesn't have any agency in this. It's an incredible story. And both of their origin stories are them wrestling with, do I even want to live like this, let alone, owe the government, right?
Don't they do a TV movie later on where they get married, as I recall?
Yes, they did.
Yes.
That was in the 80s, though, so I didn't bring that up.
Okay.
But the original story was, again, hard sci-fi. They go with the storyline where she starts to reject the bionics, and then they can't save her, and she dies at the end. but she was such a popular character that they end up bringing her back. But in so doing, they do a little woo-woo with the story. She loses her memory. So although he's still in love with her, she doesn't even remember him. And she ends up getting her own spin-off show, which ends up going to another network. This was something that happened with Wonder Woman, moving from one network to the other. Same thing here. You had the $6 Million Man on one network, and you had the Bionic Woman on another network. I found that that's the kind of thing that you wouldn't see these days. Well, maybe you would now with the Netflix era, but be that as it may. So yeah, then you had the Bionic Woman. They had crossover episodes between the two. They introduced characters you had up earlier. A robotic Bigfoot, which was an alien probe. The whole story behind Bigfoot was it's not really the missing link. It's actually an alien probe.
What?
There was, that one is, that particular actor is, I'm forgetting his first name. No. It's Cassidy. I forget his first name. He's the one that played Lurch in the.
I'm thinking of somebody else.
Jack Cassidy?
Was it? No, not Jack. I don't think it was Jack Cassidy. I forget.
Alexa, who played Lurch in the Addams Family?
The main male character, Lurch, is played by Carl Strucken in The Addams Family.
That was the movie.
Alexa. Oh, Ted Cassidy. Booger's got it up there.
Ted Cassidy. Thank you very much, Booger.
I'm
yes.
not quite sure how to
Alexa,
help you with
stop.
Alexa, shut up. Ted Cassidy. There were two appearances of the of Bigfoot. One was Ted Cassidy. The other one, the first appearance of him, was Andre the Giant.
Did they have a fight?
Yes, he gets into a fight with Bigfoot and tears off his arm, and that's how he realizes that Bigfoot is a robot.
Oh, okay. That's
There was
interesting.
also conflict. They also did a great story with the
7
Venus
million.
probe.
Oh,
No, the Venus probe, which was based on a real probe that Russia sent to Venus. Very interesting storyline. But yes, there was also a story, The $7 Million Man, where there was, another agent that was given bionics that were more advanced than his, but he ends up going kind of rogue, and so Steve needs to bring him in, which is a rough story because they were friends and whatnot. There's also a character called they call him Mr. X. Yes, this is the this is not the original Bionic. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. This is the original Bionic Man action figure. This is the one I had. You'll notice in the lower left-hand corner, he's lifting a V8 engine block. That's the one I had. Later versions of it, he had a gripping hand that could grab and lift a steel girder. A steel girder that was orange for some reason, but never mind that. So yeah, I had a lot of these $6 Million Man action figures. Maskatron was the toy based on John Saxon. John Saxon plays a friend of Steve's that is replaced by an android. That same technology is used to create female robots, the fembots, that show up in
yes, please.
both $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman. No, it was not Kung Fu Grip domicile. That was actually different. Kung Fu Grip was a rubberized hand popularized in the G.I. Joe line. G.I. Joe actually had their own bionic figure called Atomic Man. He had bionic legs and hand just like the $6 Million Man. The difference was that his hand had this little rotor in the wrist that as you turned it, the hand would spin and he could hold on to a propeller that would allow him to fly. Kind of a go-go gadget kind of a concept. This is what I'm saying. This bionic trend was repeated in every other company wanted to get
Still
in
exists today. If we're
this
being
was
honest here.
This G.I. Joe, I believe, was a Kenner figure. Of course, was it Mattel? Was it Mattel or Hasbro that owned G.I. Joe? Created Atomic Man, and there was, I want to say Ideal, but I might be wrong about this as well, had a 12-inch figure that was a biomechanical figure called, damn, I'm forgetting his name. I had him too. He wasn't bionic. He had genetic medical technology. I'm forgetting his name. He had this. The play feature was when you took his shirt off, you could see his insides, and when you pressed on a button in his back, his heart would pump, and you'd see the blood moving through.
What?
You'd pop up his face, and he had this disc that you would put into his head that would put information into his brain. It was just kind of really interesting. So it was that kind of a thing. There was another figure that was a villain character. It was, I want to say it was a Sears action figure. It was a 12-inch bionic villain figure that they were marketing to go along with the $6 Million Man. That was not part of the Kenner line. It was, some off-brand that was...
What?
Yeah, they did that. It was kind of brilliant in my mind.
Mr. Maniac, that was his name.
No, I don't think so. It was Doctor something. I want to say it was Doctor.
Dr. Midnight or something.
No, I don't know.
That was the Christopher Lee villain in some movie.
That's right.
The Mr. Impossible, I think that was the name of the movie. Anyway, anything else to say about Bionic Mania, though? I mean, this was a huge deal, right?
It really was. And I had all of this stuff. Oscar Goldman had an exploding briefcase. He had an exploding desk because he was a spy, right? So, you'd have to have self-destruct mechanisms to prevent the bad guys from getting all the secrets and whatnot. So.
I like the idea of this potential cinematic or television universe with Knight Rider, Bionic Man, and...
yeah. I'm looking forward to that too.
And Airwolf, I think those would.
We've talked about that on Geeky Geezers. We'll talk about that more as it comes to fruition.
Oh, how about you, Netter? Any memories of the Bionic Woman or Bionic Man?
Yeah, it's like, I used to watch all the shows.
Right. Too young to remember.
I thought it was interesting. Maybe? She was a school teacher, but apparently was never at her job.
Right.
I think you saw her in her classroom like twice.
Right. I did say that she started out as a tennis pro. After her accident and her memory loss, she got a job as a school teacher.
Was she a college professor or a regular school teacher?
Like I want to say late grade school, early high school.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense because if she was a college professor, of course she's not going to be there.
Yeah, she had.
Yeah, her TAs just take care of her.
Like Dr. Jones is never in the classroom,
right.
That sort of thing. Yes.
They were grade school kids, but she was never there. How do you keep a job when you're never at your job?
Because she really works for the government.
Well,
it's just
she wasn't allowed to tell anybody that.
Right.
So as far as her school knew, she was just taking off.
There's a great scene where she's in a classroom and she's got a tennis ball in her hand and she crushes it in her hand. Nobody's in the classroom. It's not like she gives herself away.
I imagine she has her back turned, some kid throws it and she catches it and crushes it in her hand in front of the class.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next?
Space 1999.
This is my last one, I think. Yeah. One of the great science fiction television series.
Yep.
Originally conceived of as a sequel to UFO.
Right.
But ended up becoming its own thing. Because you can see almost the legwork because there's a moon base on it, so this could have been the moon base from UFO. But no, this is its own thing. But Jerry Anderson, again, involved in this. Martin Landau, main star. And this takes place on a moon colony. And in the first episode, we realized that that we're storing all of our nuclear waste on the moon. I guess from like nuclear power plants and whatnot, right?
That was actually a plan that was put out in the late 50s, early 60s.
Yes.
The only reason it never happened was because they thought through the logistics of shooting nuclear waste into space. What happens if,
If it
something
comes
happens?
back in the atmosphere, that could be a disaster.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
apparently they figured out a way to safely transport it. But then he's realizing, wait a minute, we've just created the largest nuclear bomb in all of human history by storing all this waste in the same
Yeah.
spot on the moon.
Yeah.
And the first episode has like this space, like the astronauts up there, they're getting some kind of weird like virus or something, and it's making them go crazy. And they keep I think one of them finally crashes into the radioactive waste, and basically it explodes.
Causes a big nuclear explosion.
That's so
Which isn't how
large.
nuclear waste works, but okay.
You know something? Can I enjoy my science fiction series? Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Martin Landau is Commander John Koenig, leader of Moonbase Alpha, and Barbara Bain is Dr. Helena Russell, head of the medical section, almost like his Mr. Spock kind of.
Right.
Not that she's emotionless, but she has a very clinical mind because
Right.
she's a medical doctor. And well, the explosion is so big that the moon gets knocked out of the Earth's orbit and is steadily passing through the solar system. And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. If the moon leaves the Earth, isn't that bad for the Earth? Isn't that going to have ramifications for us on the Earth as well if we lose the moon? And I think they even mentioned that because we can't mount a rescue team. We're dealing with too much stuff down here. We're having earthquakes. The tides are all messed up. I'm sorry. We wish you the best. They couldn't mount a rescue to get the people from Moonbase Alpha.
Right.
And it was too late for them to try to get back to Earth. So they're stuck there. And, the commander there is basically says, well, look, maybe eventually we'll come across a Earth-type planet and we'll just colonize it and we'll get off the moon base. But now
when you think about the speed at which that planetoid would be moving, just getting out of the solar system would be longer than they'd be alive.
Nope, so, they're getting toward the end of the first episode.
Okay.
Quiet you.
Okay.
Quiet you. What do you know?
When you consider that the Voyager probes have just recently crossed out of our solar system, and we know how fast that they're moving. Okay.
It's funny you mentioned the Voyager probes because that plays into an episode of this show, actually. So it's like one of the future Voyager probes, because of course this is in the future, in the future year of 1999. Right. Anyway, so one of these scientists basically it turns out that one of the Voyager probes, I guess, goes rogue and destroys a bunch of colonies of this other alien race. And the scientist on board that made the probe is the one responsible for creating this thing. And Martin Landau eventually encounters this alien race that's after the Voyager probe, and they realize, oh, it's you humans that made it. And he says, look, we're sorry about what happened to your colonies. And the aliens are like, not good enough. Where's your planet? Because we're going to wipe out your race from existence. And it's like, and even the guy that created the Voyager probe, it's my fault. Take me, execute me, leave the rest of these. Like, nope. So then he engineers the Voyager probe as it remains to go blow up these aliens and their spaceships. But it was a lot of dark stuff on the show, a lot of horrific, horrible monsters. I also want to say that this show is a who's who of European actors of the time.
True. Absolutely true. Yeah.
You have your British...
What I think is funny, if you look at the picture that's on the screen, Boomer's head's on one character, Troy's head's on another character.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. You're kind of right, yeah.
They were both in the show.
Yeah.
Funny. Well,
I'd have to be facing like this, right?
Yes. But it's basically, yeah. But this is cool. I like the guy above Barbane there. He was the computer scientist. They got rid of him in season 2 for some reason. He was interesting because he would always talk about what was going wrong with the computer or whatnot.
I like the uniforms. If you think about it, these uniforms are very similar to the uniforms you see in Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Yep.
They also have that color scheme that's very Star Trek-esque. They did. There was a Mego line of these action figures from Space 1999 too.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yep.
I think I had one of the shuttles. Here's what happens though. Apparently, even though this is just uniforms for the moon colony, though, because they didn't the space program kind of got scrapped on Earth. Like they wanted to do exploratory missions in space, and then I guess the governments decided no, we're not going to do that anymore. But now they're forced to do it because now they're on this flying, hurtling satellite through space.
Yeah.
They run into some horrible creatures on their journey there, but there you go. That's them in the spacesuits and whatnot. Christopher Lee shows up in an episode.
Interesting. Does he play an alien?
He does play an alien, and they're like four aliens, and they're stuck in some kind of cryostasis. And they try waking up one, and they kill her by accident, like the one female, and the rest of the aliens are male. And they go on to say, "Yeah, we're the rest of our race." I almost expected them to say, "Yeah, she was supposed to be our Eve," but I guess that plan is scrapped.
So yeah, you're the last of your kind. That's it. Sorry, guys. Sorry we.
Well, no,
sorry
but
we
then they
effed you
say,
up.
"Look, we have one cryostasis tube left." Okay, so we heard your Earth is inhabitable. We'll go there. We'll take one of you with us if you'd like. We can fit one of you in with the cryostasis if you send us on the way. And of course, the mayor of the colony says it should be me, and he says no, we're going to do a fair lottery system. And then he gets all bent out of shape and doesn't want to do the lottery system and to have his name pulled. So I think he ends up sticking himself in there anyway, and they couldn't break him out. But he ended up doing it wrong, and it's almost like he's buried alive in the cryo thing because he doesn't go into cryostasis. He's stuck there alive, and like he's going to die on the way to
Well,
Earth.
good. He deserves it.
And not only that, but when Martin Landau looks at the lottery, who won the lottery, it ended up being the mayor after all. So if he had just not interfered, he would have been
Wow.
selected, and the aliens would have put him in proper cryostasis.
That's what you call irony. Yeah.
It's just there's other horrible monsters. Do I have a picture of one? I guess not. Okay, I'm spoiling the next one. But no, just a lot of horrible creatures on this show, and of course you feel bad for these potential colonists because they're just trying to find a new inhabitable world. There's one interesting episode where they have to pass through what they call a black sun, which I think was an old-fashioned name for a black hole.
Yep.
And they're headed right toward it, and they weren't sure if they were going to make it out alive, basically. And he ends up talking to some weird spectral alien lady, and she basically tells them, "Oh, we know who you humans are. You're going to proliferate throughout the galaxy or throughout the universe." So it was an interesting prediction of where the human race was going to go. That
Well, it definitely gives you some hope for what
Yes.
seems like a fairly bleak otherwise story.
yeah, this starts out as kind of bleak, but it has its bright moments on it, and
Yeah.
it had a season 2, which was not as well received. I've watched some episodes of it. It's okay. I think they were trying to. I think again, it's another one of these shows that gets influenced by Star Wars when we get to season
Yeah.
2,
Yeah.
and more action orientated. You get a shape shifting woman on the show, and I think because Wonder Woman was popular, they wanted to have like a female action type character on the show,
Sure.
and she could turn into different creatures and things. So that was interesting.
Awesome.
Moving on to Logan's Run.
Yeah. So in the vein of
Love that poster.
I guess it is a dystopian future, right? This is a future in which all the people live in a very controlled city, a domed city. All of their needs are met. They have a lot of free time. Seems like there's not a lot of work, a lot more leisure. The only people that seem to have any, well, I mean, they have service jobs because apparently they still have what's it called, like plastic surgery and stuff like that, advanced plastic surgery, so you could work in that industry. They have the equivalent of police officers called sandmen. Why are they sandmen? Because they put people to sleep.
Sounds lovely.
People that the only real law that you see being broken are you are not allowed to live past a certain age. If you get too old,
Was it
you are
age
supposed to-
30, as I recall?
I think it was age 30. I think you're right. Which is ironic because
30.
you got Michael York, who was like, what, 45 or whatever age he was,
Yeah, as
playing
soon
this
as-
29-year-old.
As soon as you became 30, the little gem on your hand would turn I think it was white.
No, blinking red. You start out with white, and as you get older, it turns red, and then when you turn 30, it starts to blink red.
And then they get to kill ya.
Well, the pseudo religion is that you go to something called carousel, where you put on a death mask and you float without gravity into these fields that kill you, but they think that you're renewing, that you are being reincarnated into the next generation, right? Only to find out that there are dissidents that don't want to die. But you'll be renewed. If you don't renew in carousel, you will die. They become runners. And so you see Michael York here in the uniform of the Sandmen. They go to retire anyone who runs, who doesn't report to carousel the way they should, and basically exterminate them. In a very graphic way, they shoot them, they die, and then they call in a cleanup that pours like an acid over them that eliminates their bodies.
Yikes.
They decide to send Michael York's character, the central computer that runs everything, tells him we need to ferret out these malcontents. They are searching for something called sanctuary. They're trying to leave the domed city. We want you to become a runner and join them and report back to us so that we can go eliminate their sanctuary. And they take away his remaining years. So he starts blinking, and he's like, well, what about my remaining years? Do I get those back? And they won't answer him. So he becomes a runner, and he joins with this girl, Jessica, who he meets Jessica through... there's a technology that they have, kind of like teleporters, kind of like replicators in Star Trek, where you can go into this thing and be digitized, and you can be brought out, you could be transported in or replicated or whatever, when someone calls you up to spend the night with you.
Oh.
So he calls
booty call.
Yeah, you notice she's wearing a necklace, and the pendant on it is an ankh, and that is a symbol of these resistors that are working in the equivalent of an underground railroad to get people out of the city to survive past the age of 30. By teaming up with her, he becomes a runner, and they get out of the city, and they start traveling through. You start to get the idea about how this world got to where it is. You start to fill in some of the gaps about the history outside. They get outside of the civilized area. And one of the areas they go through is a processing thing. Probably could be the future of Soylent Green, right? Where you've got this robot whose job is to process humans into food. For later, and as they get there, they end up. It's a frozen wasteland that they're in, but they had to go through like an underwater thing. So when they get to the other side, they're in wet clothes. They need to change. So next slide. Remember, this was a PG-13. No, this was before PG-13. This was a PG film. This is one of the greatest moments in 1970s sci-fi. I'm just saying. This is Jenny Agutter, my friends.
Her breasts are afraid of the dark.
Those breasts are afraid of the dark. Absolutely. She had to get them out in every movie she was in. And it's not just her breasts.
She goes full.
She goes full Monty in the next few frames here. So guys, I'm thinking Monday night members, Logan's Run. If you haven't seen it.
And what do the ladies get if that's for the gents?
Well, you get to see Michael York's bare ass. I mean, there is that.
His bony butt.
Hey.
I don't know how bony it is.
Isn't he a knight, as I recall?
Butt.
Well, he is now, I suppose. for whatever
Sir
that means
Michael
these
York.
days. Yeah, it just means that he's a wealthy actor who pays his taxes in Britain. That earns you the Royal Order. But
Who did he play on Superman the Animated Series? I think he was one of Darkseid's underlings, Kanto. I think that's who he played.
Okay.
He did the voice of him.
But yeah, so she's got to get out of those wet clothes. So yeah.
Do you know who Malcolm McDowell voiced on Superman the Animated Series?
Jor-El?
Nope. Metallo.
Oh, I like that. That's good. That is
They
good.
always got the best actors to be the villains, yes. All right, is that it for Logan's Run, though?
Yes, this there was a TV series as well, cast with all different actors. And
I can see it as a TV show.
Oh, it was really good, actually. It was really good. It kind of retcons a couple of elements so that the story could continue. Really, really liked it. A lot less nudity in the television.
Yes, because the networks, those darn networks.
Yeah, you could only get away with so much in the 70s on television. Star Wars Mania. Guys, you don't understand what Star Wars did. Boomer even mentioned it when he was talking about how the second season of 1999, Space 1999, was directly impacted by Star Wars. The idea to do a Star Trek movie was directly because of the success of Star Wars. There were so many Star Wars knockoffs and rip-offs and alternate versions, and Krull was a direct response to Star Wars. It was just amazing.
There's that original poster with the buff Luke and the Princess Leia with the cleavage. Yeah, there's the leg too.
So this is very interesting. That costume in that there with the low neck, right? Think about this. Try to remember the original Star Wars. Princess Leia, when you meet her and she's got the buns on the side of her head, right? And she's dressed in a white gown, high collar.
Yes.
However, in the very last scene, in the when she's giving the awards to Han and Luke, she's wearing that dress. With the dip. So there are promotional pictures of her where she's got the buns on the side and she's got that scoop neck in some of the promo pictures. So it's not that picture isn't wrong, so to speak. The only thing that's wrong with Luke's Luke doesn't bare his chest, although what he is wearing is a gi, a martial arts top, which you totally could pull that open like that. When I used to take karate and I'd get overheated, I would literally do exactly that. But the difference is he's wearing white boots in that picture, whereas he had like a beige wrap up to his knees.
Right.
And definitely way more muscular in this picture. But I am working on a new Cantina follow up to the last standalone video that I did, talking about the Power of the Force figures and how the first Luke Skywalker Power of the Force from 1997 very much evokes this particular Luke with the buff and the open chest and the So
Look
there
at all
you
this
go.
merchandising.
Right. So what am I seeing here? I'm seeing
I have
the
that
original-
Millennium Falcon. Diecast Millennium Falcon.
I was gonna say I had to look close. That is not the big 3 3/4 inch one. That is the tiny die-cast one. I did have that as well. I had all the die-cast. There was a Falcon, there was a Star Destroyer, there was a land speeder, there was an X-wing fighter, and Darth Vader's TIE fighter and the regular TIE fighter. I had all of those in die-cast. Why? Because they were small enough and they were affordable. But there's Luke, 3PO, and R2-D2 from the first wave of action figures.
Is that a yellow lightsaber?
That is a yellow lightsaber. Check out...
Ray stole another thing from Luke.
Yeah. Check out
I'm sorry.
Michael French's retro blasting video about Don't Eat the Yellow Lightsaber. It's a great video that talks about the weird yellow versus blue lightsabers throughout the marketing of the Star Wars figures. You have the Kenner Land
Landspeeder.
Speeder. In the back right is the Star Wars storybook. I had all the storybooks. I loved that book. I love that book so much. The original poster monthly. Those posters contain some of the best promotional stills from the Star Wars movies, and I'm guessing that in the lower center, 15 cents was that bubblegum cards?
Maybe
I'm not
like the
sure.
Top series. Top's
Could
had a
be.
Star Wars series. Yeah, that's probably what that is.
I didn't get the Star Wars ones. I got the Empire and Jedi ones. Those were the 12-inch action figures.
Not a great picture, but it's probably from a commercial.
It is. And you notice you got the girl with the Princess Leia because they were trying to push the whole Princess Leia as Barbie. They had alternate clothes for the Princess Leia. They were trying to push it as a Barbie type figure. That Chewbacca mold was reused later as the Bigfoot figure with just a different head
For $6 million man.
for the $6 million man, and it had a removable chest piece to show the circuitry. Yeah,
That's very cool. But yeah, those look like some 70s kids right there.
very, yes.
Moving on to
So,
what is this?
This
Sorry.
was weird. I did not have this. This was an alternate version of the Landspeeder. The original Landspeeder was just kind of like a car with suspension that made it look like it was floating. You could move it on the wheels. It had a little
cool.
push button so you could open the bonnet and see the interior sticker inside that represented the engine or whatever. But this used the same molds, but instead of having the opening front and whatnot, it had electronics. And it took batteries and it moved automatically. And you had an R2D2 clicker that would send a signal to it to go forward and backwards.
And could you put the actual action figures in this thing too?
Yes, you could. Yes, you
Okay,
could.
That's
I did not have it, and I was okay with that because I already had the original, the one that you showed on the previous screen, and to me it was the same thing. I didn't need one that moved on its own. That seemed overkill to me, so it didn't bother me that I didn't have this. The Star Wars Galactic Funk by Miko.
What is going on with this cover? I had expected like Darth Vader's head or
So this was the album put out by Miko. They released a cover of the Star Wars theme, of course, John Williams, in disco style, and it combined the theme from Star Wars with the Cantina Band tune in a disco style. It was very much the 70s.
Oh gosh, I remember that.
Yeah. My in the GameCube game, Star Wars Rebel Strike, that was the sequel to Rogue Leader that I talked about on Monday. The intro scene has the characters from the game on the disco floor. So you have Han Solo, Princess Leia, of course, in the Jabba the Hutt girl get up, and then you have Luke, and they're all doing the disco dance. And instead of and Darth Vader's on the disco floor too, like doing the Batusi. And then instead of like a disco ball, you have looks like a Death Star up above.
Star, exactly.
And they're playing this song, the Star Wars.
Of course
disco
they are.
theme.
Of course
yes,
they are.
It's very
look at the artwork there. You see the ship in the middle left. Tell me that's not directly inspired by Flash Gordon, which of course George Lucas had wanted to do a Flash Gordon movie, couldn't get the rights, and that's why he ended up making Star Wars.
So this is why this is confusing to me. The song, they had to obviously license out the tune from Lucas, right?
Right.
Okay. but the cover, this is like something from the 1950s or something. So
Very
I
retro-futuristic,
don't
yes.
understand it. Why didn't they just have like a normal Star Wars cover? Were they
Because
like
they didn't want to pay additional licensing for all of the Star
ridiculous?
Wars. Even look at the Star Wars title there.
Yeah.
They were using the title because
Okay.
obviously it's a cover of the Star Wars.
Why
theme,
not just put
but
like
they
a
didn't-
starry background then or something? That would have made more sense than this. I mean,
I don't think it really mattered. I think that people would buy it because
did
they
you have
wanted-
this record?
I did not actually.
Oh, okay.
I didn't. Yeah, I did not.
Now, my dad didn't have this record, but he did have a Star Wars jazz album. The Star Wars songs performed like jazz, and
I did not know about this.
Yes, it has the Imperial March done as like a very slow jazz number. You know what? I should find you a YouTube clip of it.
If you can find it, I'd be very interested.
And the cover
because,
was ridiculous
Me
because
and
you had
jazz.
You had like I think you had a stormtrooper playing the saxophone. Chewbacca was on the drums in the background, and Darth Vader is sitting like at this club, like with I think he has like a scotch on the rocks in his hand or something. You know, it's so funny the cover.
Salute.
But yeah, no, but this song I know the disco was of course big, and you know what? It's not that bad. It kind of works in the disco thing.
Yeah,
to jazz it up a bit. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just I do remember the song from back in the day, but
Yep. Yeah, so Marvel Comics had a great run of the Star Wars comic, starting with, I want to say, I can't remember if it was their first 4 or first 6 issues were comic book adaptations of the movie. Very interestingly, there were a lot of scenes in these comics that did not appear in the movie because they were working from older scripts. So you have different lines, you have different scenes. For example, the scene from the special editions of Han Solo talking to Jabba actually appear in these Marvel comics from 1970.
But he's the Irish dude instead.
No. No.
Oh, he is an
Who
alien.
it actually was an alien that is seen in background shots in the cantina. He's dressed in what appears to be an Imperial uniform, but red. And he's got like a white long mustache and like a white ponytail, some kind of an alien. And I actually have an action figure for him. You will see him in an upcoming video I'm working on. But he is the, in quotes, Marvel Comics Jabba the Hutt. So there are actually 3 different impressions of what Jabba looked like. The one from Return of the Jedi that we see in the special edition, the Scottish guy from the deleted scenes, and of course the other alien from the Marvel Comics.
So this is what's throwing me off about this comic book. I could be wrong, but do I see up there $3.99? This sounds to me a rather expensive comic for the 1970s.
For the 70s, yes.
Was this a large comic, like the big oversized ones when they did the like?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, they did multiple versions. They did the regular size. They did the larger.
Okay.
This one was the big.
Yeah,
the
because
big,
for $3.99, they better be, especially in 70s.
Great artwork. Wonderful artwork. But and I may be mistaken. I can't tell from this. This particular one might be the entire story of Star Wars in one issue.
Okay.
Whereas, like I said, there was like 4 or 6 monthlies. So you could get like multiple versions of this. I do have the entire run of the original Marvel Comics that went right up through Return of the Jedi and just a ways past it.
Yeah.
Good. I loved their post Return of the Jedi EU story. I'll have to do a
Yeah.
video about that at some point in the future.
I'm sure there's a mine of wonderful storytelling in these comics that modern companies should perhaps look
The
to for
character of
inspiration.
Mara Jade
Yeah.
that everyone loves from the Timothy Zahn, there was a proto character in those comics that I honestly believe became Mara Jade in later days. And if Disney knew what the F they were doing, they would honor both of those characters with an amalgamation of the two. But they're not that intelligent.
Yeah.
That ain't going to be who Amy Adams is going to be, let me tell you guys. But yeah. Oh, the Escape from the Death Star game.
So
you grabbed the Palatoy. I didn't even know until I saw this that Palatoy. Well, and it makes sense because Kenner released everything here in the United States. In Britain, Palatoy.
Oh, so this is the British version. I got you.
Exactly.
Came out around the
But
same time, though.
It was the identical box. I'm sure the game was exactly the same. It's a board game where you play as either Luke and Leia or Han and Chewie, trying to get off the Death Star. You're literally trying to escape from the Death Star.
Is there like
This
the garbage room? Is that one of the things on the board?
It's kind of like jail in Monopoly, kind of like that. You could end up going there. You got to roll double sixes to get out. Yes, exactly. I not only have the original game, but I've also got several of the re-release of this that came out about, I want to say 10 years ago, maybe less. It was re-released with a retro Hasbro action figure. It was the only way you could get the retro Grand Moff Tarkin figure, a figure that did not exist in the 70s and 80s, that did not exist until Hasbro created it in the modern day. So
I gotcha.
So I have this game. I have great memories of it. It's kind of a dumb, simple game, but I loved it so much as a kid. I really did.
Well, board games were a big deal back in the 70s. They made a Dawn of the Dead board game, which I've always heard about, but I've never actually played.
Dude, there is, I'm forgetting the company. Maybe when I sober up, I'll remember. But there's a company right now that is putting out horror-based board games. And they sell the miniatures that you can paint up yourself.
Oh, very cool.
They're really, really nice. Yeah. So MPC put out the model kits. I did not have a lot of these. I'm trying to remember if I had this Death Star or not. I'm not sure.
This was Darth Vader's TIE fighter, right? Yeah.
Yes. Now known as the TIE Advanced, but that's newer canon. So these were a smaller scale than what Kenner was doing. So I'm getting a little ahead because we're jumping into the 80s a little bit by talking about Empire Strikes Back. I wanted the AT-AT from Empire Strikes Back. The toy for Kenner. My mother decided that I had not been very good that year, so I wasn't going to get the AT-AT. What she actually got me was the MPC AT-AT model for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
And I was a little bit devastated. I was thankful for it. I didn't let on, but she knew. I was like, ah. But I got it 2 weeks later for my birthday. The AT-AT from Canada.
Did you put the model together?
I did. I did.
Okay.
I put it together, actually not right away, years later when I was a little older, and I knew how to do things like a paint wash so it looked, it looked real good, actually. In fact, to the point that when MPC also put out the Battle of Hoth, which was on a much smaller scale, I was thinking, man, I could get a bunch of these AT-ATs, because they'd be like closer to the scale than what they had there. Never actually got around to it, but I wanted to. I really, really wanted to.
But yeah, we had models. And
So this
we
is so from left to right. Although my face is kind of covering him right now.
Chris
Chris
Christopherson.
Christopherson, Marie and Donny Osmond, and Anthony Daniels as C-3PO. This was
The fall premiere, I think, of Donnie
the
and Marie,
fall
right?
premiere of Donnie and Marie. We actually did a watch party of this last year.
Yes.
Donnie and Marie had a weekly variety show. I've talked a lot about 70s variety shows here. And what's really cool about this, and I pointed it out when we did the watch party of this, it's kind of funny because Donnie and Marie are brother and sister. And they didn't know at the time they were playing characters that would prove to be brother and sister.
Very funny. And you had Paul Lynde as the Imperial guy, right? He had a song number.
Right. That's right. He's like the Darth Vader. No, he played an Imperial
like the
officer.
Moff Tarkin stand-in or whatever. Yeah. Yes.
Just a costume note. Well, two costume notes. Of course, she's wearing the high collar. Like I said, Leia, wore
Right.
throughout most of the actual movie. She's wearing a different belt though. The belt that Leia has is like points down to her own lambda.
Okay. Yes, but to be fair,
But yes.
a
And
few months after the movie
Luke
came out, it's
and Luke is wearing or I should say Donnie is wearing the belt of a stormtrooper. So he's literally in costume for Luke during the Death Star scenes.
yeah.
Or
So,
post Death Star scenes.
but I guess what I brought this up because it was getting so popular that even a mainstream variety show like Donnie and Marie, they're doing their premiere episode just about Star Wars, and that's
One thing you didn't get in here that you could have just as easily done. Saturday Night Live did a great Star Wars Cantina bit where Bill
I didn't know
Murray
that.
is the lounge singer. Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
Making up
if
lyrics.
they should bar wars, we hope Star Wars stays.
Hey, I almost did the Mark Hamill guest spot on the Muppets, but I realized I think that was 1980, so I couldn't do
That's
it.
true.
Yeah, that was during Empire.
Yeah. I think he even shows up in his Empire.
In his Empire garb, as opposed. That's why I didn't do that. So I figured, okay, we'll do Donnie Marie then.
But I will say one thing that you could have done. You may not have known about it. There are some promotional stills of Mark Hamill in a Luke Skywalker costume that's all gold, like glowing gold, disco outfit.
Oh, wow.
This was an outfit that he wore for, I want to say, a Japanese thing. It was bizarre. I've seen it. I couldn't even wrap my head around what the hell was going on in this.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe, it might not have been here, but did he show up on this special, or did he show up on another variety show around the same time? He just popped his head in one time. I think I recall that. But it might not have been this one. It might have been something else. Okay.
I don't know.
But Chris Christopherson, he could have played Han Solo. I think he got it down.
He was up for the role. That's why
That's the thing.
I didn't realize this at the time as a kid, but looking back, I'm like, okay, I get it.
Would have brought a different vibe to the role, but it would have been interesting. Yeah. But
yeah, absolutely.
you
know who else was up for the role was
Richard Dreyfuss? No, I'm kidding.
No.
Christopher Walken. They
No, who? Snake Plissken. What's his name?
Oh, Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell was up.
Yeah, I could have seen Kurt Russell.
And you know who else was up for the role of Luke Skywalker? This would be an '80s thing, though. William Catt, the Greatest American Hero.
Oh, he and Mark Hamill had kind of a similar look, actually.
Very
he's got
similar.
the curly hair.
And
but
honestly,
honestly,
I would have preferred him as Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I think he could have worked.
Well, in retrospect.
At the time, it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I figured I'd throw in one last toy. This is, of course, the toy that every kid wanted, which was, of course, the Millennium Falcon, right?
Okay, so here's where I'm going to talk a little bit about this. We've always had the thing with toys is you need to make them affordable This was a large vehicle that cost, for the time, a lot of money. But it's obviously undersized. You see where that quad laser is on the top?
Yeah.
There should be one on the bottom, and there is not. And there is only enough room for one action figure when there should be two. Remember, they go into a shaft, and Luke goes one way and Han goes the other way, right? There is no room for both of them in this ship. There's only room for one. Where that cargo bay is, in the back, where all the play features happen, the holographic Digress,
Yeah.
and there was this thing for the remote, so Luke could do the
helmet
remote.
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that where they physically are in that toy is actually where all the engines would be. Where they should be is on the other side of that quad in the front. That is the cargo area. There's barely enough room in that cockpit for. There's only room for Han and Chewie. You can't put Luke and Obi-Wan behind them. And in 1997, Hasbro had bought out Kenner and started the Power of the Force figures and put out new 5 points of articulation, 3 3/4 inch action figures. So they were the same scale, but they were super buff. And Han and Chewie were so muscular they couldn't even sit together in the cockpit. And I only bring that up because they re-released the Millennium Falcon in 1997 using the same molds. You could put Han Solo in it, but you couldn't put Han Solo and Chewbacca in it together.
Oh.
So my point is the Millennium Falcon was way undersized. They couldn't do a Millennium Falcon that was truly in scale with the action figures, except they kind of did. In 1997, when they put out those Power of the Force figures, Toys R Us, those of you that are younger might not even know what Toys R Us is, they had a display for the new Hasbro, Kenner, Star Wars toys. Well, yeah, they promoted the special editions and so forth, re-releasing a lot of the old action figures. Some action figures that never existed, like Tarkin, Slave Leia, Han in Stormtrooper armor. Well, they did a display for Toys R Us, which was an enlarged version of the Millennium Falcon. It was just hollow vacuum form that hung from the ceiling, and it would be in scale with the action figures. Well, my wonderful, beautiful enabler, Netter of Netter's Network, obtained one for me, which I am over time customizing, putting the Dejaric table and the cargo bay in the correct place, filling out the cockpit, quad lasers on the top and bottom. So that's many years in the future. I don't expect to see that in the next year or two, but that's something I'm working on for the future.
But didn't you? It was taped to the roof of the car, right?
So she won it in an auction on eBay. We drove out to Columbus, Ohio. No. I'm sorry, Cleveland, Ohio. And we thought if instead of taking our car, if we borrowed a buddy's Jeep, we'd be able to fit it in the back of the Jeep. Well, only to find out it's too big to fit in the back of the Jeep. So luckily the Jeep had a cargo rack on the top. And so we wrapped it in a tarp and tied it to the top of the Jeep. So we're driving down the Ohio Turnpike with the Millennium Falcon on top, and the tarp on top of it flapped open enough that you could see the cockpit.
No, we had it so wrapped tightly around you could see the outline.
You could see the outline of it.
And that's how people
a
were
lot of people
honking
knew
and just going,
and they were like, "Wow, it's the Millennium Falcon!" And I'm like, dude.
Was there a hailstorm going on? You're having to swerve between the hail like the Millennium Falcon with the asteroid belt? No.
The asteroids. Don't quote me the odds. No, yeah.
Yes.
No,
But I don't know. So this was Star Wars, though. But this was a very special time to be a kid, wasn't it?
Yep. Definitely check out my most recent video. I do a video about the action figures, specifically the history of these action figures and the Cantina play sets. Check
Blue
them out. I
Snaggletooth.
think you will like them. I do talk about Blue Snaggletooth.
Notorious Blue Snaggletooth.
Yeah, look, thousands of those figures were made. There's a lot of them out there. You can find auctions for them all the time. They're going for way too much money. Stan Solo has a repro of it, and I'm happy with it. I am very happy with it. For, I want to say $30 for this custom boutique action figure replica. Way better than spending a friggin' $1,000 on a overpriced original. Fuck that shit.
All right.
That's it. That is the 1970s sci-fi. Look, my takeaway from this is sci-fi was always meant to be aspirational on the one hand. This is what the future could be. And on the other hand, cautionary. Don't make these mistakes going forward as these technologies happen, right? As we start getting into cybernetics,
Terminator.
as we start going into, AI and all this kind of stuff, all these dystopian things, don't make these mistakes. And unfortunately, in 2025, I'm looking at the world around me, and we're making all these damn mistakes. And it's like, where the fuck have you been for the past 50 years? You have not been paying attention. We're literally making all the mistakes of all this sci-fi from all these years. You morons.
More off than on.
They're very off. This is absolutely ridiculous. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me bring you guys in. I didn't mean to not have
He
you
made it
guys.
a one-man show again.
I didn't mean to. But yeah. That's what I'm saying. And look, I didn't talk about it tonight, but yes, the holiday special is very near and dear to my heart. That was from 1978. I love the holiday special because it was Star Wars EU before there was an EU. It was all we had, along with Splinter of the Mind's Eye, between Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. We didn't know there was going to be an Empire Strikes Back then. We take it for granted now, but the kids that we were didn't know if there was going to be another Star Wars movie. So amen and thank goodness for it.
Yes. Oh, it's kind of. I guess here we are. I wonder what people remember about this decade, pop culture wise.
I think there's going to be a lot of people remembering all this woke ridiculousness and looking at it, just like we laugh about men in with long hair and bell bottoms and hip huggers and shirts that were open with extra hair and gold chains and disco, stupidity. People are going to be mocking the woke stupidity of today. I really believe that in the future generations. If not, I weep for the future. If we continue down that line, it could be the end of the human race, honestly.
It's the end of the world.
As we know it, it's
And then we'll be ruled by a planet of apes.
We'd probably be better off.
I love the. You know what's funny? He says, like the McDonald's like, for better or for worse, and then Caesar looks at him, could it be any worse? You know?
Right?
It's just I get Caesar's indignation in that movie. That's the weird thing. Like I feel for him. You know. It's like,
So real quick, I want to say hi to, despite the fact that YouTube has effed over everybody's membership names, I know that this is the Peter Vinkman fan site. Thank you. This is somebody that I appreciate so much. She's always sharing out the channel and the videos every day on the social media. Thank you so much. And I love the fact that there is another Ghostbusters fan out there. If I'm assuming she must follow me on X. On X, I list myself as a YouTuber, a Star Trek Klingon, and a Ghostbuster. So definitely cut from the same cloth here. Imagine taking Star Wars and the only association people can make is lesbian space, which, oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh. So, you may not have been there. On Monday, I did a rewatch of the Star Wars Holiday Special, where off-platform I shared the Thank the Maker edit, which removes the Diane Carroll mind evaporator scenes and replaces them with scenes of a film called Star Wars Outlaws, not to be confused with the series,
the video game,
or the video game that George Lucas had planned. No, it's an adult parody involving a Twi'lek and whatever the race is that Ahsoka is. Two female characters out on the dance floor doing some dancing. Those are the kind of lesbian space witches I could totally get behind. Not what Disney is doing with them. Just saying. But
by the way, apparently the Rian Johnson Star Wars trilogy is not happening. That news came out
I am
today.
so shocked.
Ow.
This is my shocked face. I could fall over and die of not surprise.
I don't even know if that's even worth about commenting on for Sunday, but I just
We could almost make it a joke, just bring it up.
I want it to happen.
Just spend like 20 seconds. Guess what? The Rian Johnson movies aren't happening. Big shock. In other news, and then go on to the next article.
$500 million apiece. Kathleen Kennedy could have okayed it. $500 million for each of the movies.
I want to believe there is a special place in hell for Rian Johnson and Kevin Feige and Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger.
Who won't leave? Bob Iger will not leave.
Look, I blame stockholders in Disney. Netter and I sold our stocks. We said, "F you, go to hell." Now when I sold my stock, I assumed I was going to take a loss, and I didn't give a crap. I had moral issues with Disney, and I was like, I can't be a stockholder in this company. I ended up having to pay taxes on dividends, because I ended up making money on that sale. So, F you, Disney. You made me money as I was walking away. You can go to hell. And then I see their stock going down. I'm like, to you.
Let's put it this way. It's like, I forget how many years ago it was, I bought one share for $30.
You bought one share of Pixar.
Yeah.
When Pixar was then bought by Disney, that stock split. And then it split again later on as the stock value went up.
And
so when we sold it,
I sold it for like $940 or $960.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So what you
So
got going? Oh,
I made money on them.
Girl, you are just, you're a sweetheart. I appreciate the ways that you support this channel with the sharing and the stuff. So thank you so much. I cannot express my gratitude to you and to all of you, however you choose to support me, by being here and contributing in the chat, by dropping the super chats, the gifted memberships, being a member. Hell, just hitting the like button. You guys are like my wife feeding the fucking squirrels.
I
You
haven't
know.
fed the squirrels since they stuffed our car full of peanuts.
Well, yes, but still, I mean,
Oh, yeah, that's a story.
for
yeah.
another time, but yeah.
Well, I did mention it during a liquid lunch. Join me
I see.
every weekday noon central for liquid lunch. But
And
so,
tomorrow-
guys.
Yep.
We are coming to the end of the show. If you guys want me to do a karaoke stream in the next 2 weeks, I did say if I got 5 more members, or
No, it was a total of 10 members, and we've got 2 so
no,
far.
no, 5 because I was looking for 25. So $25, whether it comes in gifted memberships or chats.
Okay, that's not the way you said before. You said $25 in
Super
super
chat.
chats, and or 10 members, either gifted or you become a member.
Well, whatever.
Oh,
Guys, if in other words, I'm saying, guys, drop me a couple super chats if you want to see a holiday karaoke stream in 2 weeks. I was originally going to do one next week that was just like Thanksgiving themed, right? Thankful, thanks, there's, believe it or not, there are songs that are Thanksgiving related. I don't want to call them Thanksgiving carols, but there are songs. But then Boomer pointed out that next week, Friday, what's next week Friday, Agent Boomer?
Black Friday.
It's Black Friday. And you know what? We kind of need to do a stream that's focused on Black
Retrospective.
Friday. Yeah, so I appreciate Agent Boomer keeping me on target. We're gonna talk about that next week. So
For
in
those of you who've worked retail, you knew the horror stories of Black Friday.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about
Right.
that in 1 week. In 2 weeks, if you would like, it would be great to do a karaoke stream. If you want to sing, you can. I'll bring you on to sing. Or if you want me to sing, I'll sing. Right? Netter and Boomer will sing. I'm thinking so we make it a twofer, right? We have some Thanksgiving type songs, plenty of Christmas carols that we could sing, right? Christmas songs.
Mm-hmm.
I will refrain from singing All I Want for Christmas Is You. Maybe Netter will, but I won't. Right?
All I want for Christmas is my two front teeth.
Oh, if I get enough of a financial contribution, maybe Netter and I do It's Cold Outside. That could be fun. Netter and I doing It's Cold Outside, that would be an
I want a
interesting one.
hippopotamus for Christmas.
How about what is it? Giuseppe the Christmas donkey? No, it's not Giuseppe. What is it? I forget.
Oh, Dominic.
Dominic the Christmas donkey. Yeah.
Dominic.
Yeah.
Well,
You don't know that
Dominic.
one?
I've heard of it. Yes.
Yeah.
Dominic.
Yeah. It's the Italian answer to Rudolph. I love that song. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Okay.
All
Rudolph.
I want for Christmas is you. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. I expect people to start paying. No, I'll pay you not to sing. Damn it.
Roasted chestnuts.
Poor Chet. Poor Chet. His nuts roasting on an open fire. That's gotta hurt.
Cool.
I need to watch Neptune's Daughter, which features Baby It's Cold Outside.
Baby,
Yeah.
with Ricardo Montalban
With
singing.
Ricardo Montalban. Yeah.
He is everywhere, isn't he? Yes. He's
God, he was so suave, right? Really can't stay.
wasn't too suave jumping out that window and falling to his death in Conquest of the Planets of the Apes.
Well, no, I don't know. That was pretty noble, actually, you know?
Well, I think he was just trying to get out of there because he didn't want to be near the mine probe.
Right.
We need him.
So, and maybe, and if we do Christmas karaoke, right? And Netter and I do a duet of Baby It's Cold Outside. I'll tell you the story about a little debate I got into with some friends, well, former friends of ours. Fourth wave feminist was the wife, and she had a real problem with the song Baby It's Cold Outside. And Netter and I defended that song, and I said, look, reverse the roles. And that was me and Netter when we were dating. When, because Netter was the older woman who had an apartment in the city, and I would go and visit her, and she'd want me to stay, and I'd go, I can't, I gotta get home, my mom will be pissed if I don't, blah, 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 this and that. And I understood the struggle of the woman in that narrative, right? You know, my parents will say this, and other people will say that, and blah, 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 and this and that. But you had a couple that were struggling against social mores that wanted to be together, right? But she's like, oh, this is, patriarchy, getting her drunk so he can take advantage of her.
Oh, please.
That's not what this song is about.
It's romantic.
It absolutely is. If you really think about what the song is truly about. But
and it's like it's not like he's saying, you can't leave, I'm blocking the door, da, da. It's like
please stay.
She's kind of even
why.
making excuses of why she should stay, with also saying
they're weak
I
excuses.
should go home.
They're weak
but...
excuses. You can tell if you listen to what she is saying. She doesn't want to leave, but she's throwing out the arguments for why she should leave.
And that's
And although his arguments some of them are kind of thin, some of them are pretty, it's a safety issue. Maybe you really should stay.
Cool.
I don't know. I figure there's probably some fan fiction out there about, you don't have to stay in my bed. We can work. So you can stay in the bed. I'll sleep on the couch. Avert my eyes.
Of course, nice and wholesome.
Which is, and it is of its time, right? Because there was this idea of propriety. There's no fucking propriety anymore. It's like, if a woman wants to bang, she's going to bang, right? And that's empowering somehow, they say.
So they say.
Well, you say that, it reminds me of that one Asian guy on that singing show. She bangs!
She bangs! She bangs! I didn't even think about that, but yeah, now that's in my head. Right?
Classic.
He actually released an album.
I don't blame him. Take your 15 minutes of fame when you can, damn it. Jeez.
I don't know if he sold any, but he...
he did really well. For a very short period of time, he did very well.
He was awful.
Yeah, he was, but, whatever. And someone marketed freaking painted rocks as pets. The marketing. I'm just saying marketing. But anyway, let's wrap this up. Boomer, anything that you wanted to cover before we wrap this baby
No,
up? And
just be sure to tune in Sunday for Geeky
Geeky
Geezers.
Geezers, and subscribe to this bastard because we need to get him financially
Yes.
gainful, for crying out loud.
And also be sure to tune in tomorrow night because you are going to be doing a movie that may or may not be a Christmas movie.
Yes,
Tomorrow night.
a sequel
Die
to a
Hard
great
2.
Christmas classic, Die Hard 2, over on
Big Al's channel.
yeah,
The
Big
weirdest
Al.
thing about Die Hard 2 was I remember when I was a kid thinking, it's all right. It wasn't as good as the first one. Then as an adult, I watched it like, wow, it's a great action movie. And I realized that because we don't get great action movies anymore, at least not a lot. I was like,
Right.
wow, Die Hard 2 holds up really well.
For frack's sake, we got a freaking companies that are apologizing for James Bond having a gun. You know,
Ridiculous.
They oh jeez. Actually, Retro Blasting is a great video about that too.
I need to
Talking
check
about
that
the
out.
fact that they took the guns out of all the pictures. They airbrushed them out, and then they backed off of that. And so if you go to the streaming service and call up the movie, they're just these fucking generic pictures. They don't have guns in them, but you can't even tell it's a James Bond movie. It's just so ridiculously stupid.
Dumb.
And I said in one of my comments on the video, I'm like, now they need to update the titles of these movies. Live and Let Unalive, right? You know, the man with the golden pew pew. You know, I mean, what is wrong with these idiots?
Octo Kitty.
Oh no! Octo non-gender specificness. You know.
This is where we are.
Octo animal.
Just man, you know. Look, you know, for considering that side is supposed to be the progressives that are supposed to be so liberal and inclusive of gender ideologies and sexuality and you know, women empowerment, they've become the friggin' puritanical people now. I don't know. I don't know. It makes zero sense.
It's sad.
You know, sexuality is bad unless it's weird, kinky, transgender stuff. I mean, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, well, there was an expression going around the internet that well, actually, I won't say it on your stream. Anyway,
Okay.
but I'll talk to you about it in the chat. All right.
All right.
Cool.
But yeah, so that's it. Join us for the movie tomorrow. Join us for Geeky Geezers on Sunday. And Netter, any last thoughts, any last words before we wrap this baby up?
Yes.
We went way
I
late
know.
tonight.
Sorry.
No. You gave me the latitude.
Okay.
You're supposed to. You're the designated driver. You're supposed to rein
Well,
my
I
drunk
figured
ass
we
in.
had to get through everything, and we had a lot
Okay,
to say.
fair enough.
Can
Netter,
I talk now?
yes, Netter
You
last.
sure?
No, I had to say all my things before you could get the last word in. You know?
Yes, you cut me off before I could say goodbye. I want to thank Ruby Hoove again
You're a sweetie,
for
Ruby.
the membership and for the $5 super chat, as well as Boomer for the gifted membership.
sure.
For Troy
Yeah,
Channel.
you crazy monkey bastard.
Those are our producers for tonight. And apparently no one wants to do karaoke because
Yeah, you guys don't want karaoke? That's fine.
We'll
We'll
do a
take a
drive
month off
next
from
week. We
karaoke.
can do a drive next
We'll
week.
We'll bring it up again next week. Sure.
And I just want to thank all of you for being here, for being so supportive and so encouraging. You guys are Osmo.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being a part of our family. And like I said, we don't do this for us. We do this for you. So I'm glad that you're enjoying yourselves here and you keep coming back. And if you ever have suggestions for any of us, feel free to reach out to us on Twitter X. And we'll be happy to entertain those suggestions, you know. But until next time, good night and God bless.
And guys, I want to thank you so much. Hit that like button, you know, would super appreciate it. Share this stream out with your friends. Get them to subscribe. trying to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And if you're not a member, why not?
And leave a comment.
It's $2. Well, it's actually $1.99.
And you get
Yes.
4 movies a month.
There's a lot of benefits to members, but the most important, in my opinion, is supporting this channel that you like enough to be here and enjoy. So consider becoming a member. I'm trying to reach 100 members by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. So please help me out with that, guys.
And he's more than halfway there.
We're getting there.
If you're feeling, we are so close to that 100 members by the end of the year, guys. We are doing a great job on that. If you're already a member, you can always gift a membership. If you're not a member, please consider it. And
yeah, it's $2.
It's just $2. Just $2. And honestly, yeah, check. Just, you know what? Even if you don't think you want to become a member, just hit that membership button and see what the benefits are of membership. Just check it out. Just take a look at it.
And if, like Geek Flag, what Nate often states, if you were planning on giving a super chat of $5 or more, make it a gift membership instead.
Or you could just encourage me like Lady Miss just did.
Shippa.
Oh, thank you,
doing
sweetie.
the Sheba, let's face it, that's the Farty Fox.
It's the Farty Fox.
And whether it's on my channel or Netter's channel, it's so encouraging. We super appreciate that. So thank you so much, Lady Mist. This is what I'm talking about, you guys, with your encouragement and your support. It's the only reason I can continue to do this. Because I'm going to have to reevaluate in the new year if I can continue to do these streams. I might have to start looking at the idea of getting gainfully employed. Otherwise, just a thought. But yeah, Farty Fox. See, we all agree it's a Farty Fox.
Well,
it's a fox farting out hearts.
Yeah,
is what
Lady
it
Miss
really
just
is.
started calling it that first, and it's like, yeah, that's
I
exactly
agree.
what it is.
I agree 100%.
So
So
the name's
guys,
stuck.
I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for sharing with me my love of the 70s. I grew up in the 70s. The 70s were a sexy time, my friends. Look back. Some of those PG movies would be a hard R these days. And the reason that is because we were a sterner stuff back then. Mm-hmm. These days, people have gotten so wimpy. Boobs scare people, apparently, I guess. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you all so much. Next week is, of course, Black Friday. After your horrendous shopping experiences, come hang out with us and we will do a little bit of a retrospective.
And on Thursday, because it is Thanksgiving, we will be doing a movie marathon watch, just like we did last year.
Keep an eye on my channel and Netter's channel. I'm not sure how we'll work it out, but we're going to be doing movies like all afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, last year I think we did a separate stream for each movie. I think we might just do one stream that's like, and just keep playing one movie after the other.
There we go. We got a geek flag, Farty Fox.
Woo-hoo!
Thank you, my friend. You are wonderful. Thank you so much.
The Farty Fox
There you go.
is fun.
We'll put that towards the karaoke the karaoke fund. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you all so. Oh, geez, here we got one from Lady Miss too, driving a Farty Fox for me as well. Thank you. You are a sweetheart. You really, really are. Lady Miss is just good people. You are all wonderful. Netter calls you guys family, and I just can't underscore that enough. I don't get this kind of support from my flesh and blood family. You guys are better than family. You really are. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I hope this is a wonderful weekend, because this is how we inaugurate our weekend. And let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it. Enjoy your holidays. Join me all next week. I am not taking any time off for the holidays. I will be here all week for Liquid Lunch. If you are off work on Thursday, I'll do something for Liquid Lunch. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know if it'll interfere with the rewatches. I don't know. Screw it. We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Together. Come hang out with me.
If you aren't doing anything for Thanksgiving, come over to our channels. Join us.
Exactly.
We'll be happy to have you.
Exactly. Maybe Netter and I will have Thanksgiving dinner on screen. I don't know. I don't
think people want to watch us eat.
No one wants to watch us eat, but I mean,
we could show how nice and pretty it is, depending on how it turns out.
Maybe. So there you go.
But yeah, we'll definitely be doing something on Thanksgiving. If you guys, like I said, you want to join us for movie watches or whatever, we might even take some time to just kind of hang out and chat. You're so welcome to join us. I know not everyone has plans for Thanksgiving, a place they can go to or family they can be with. So join us. Be a part of our family.
We'll absolutely be here for you.
We're family, so you can be with us.
I look up at the big screen and I see the Farty Fox dancing.
And they're dancing in unison. You notice that?
Yeah, they're together. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with us tonight. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. Drink responsibly. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care, y'all. Bye-bye.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, sir.
Hit it, sweetheart.
The neon lights are fading, closing time is near. Whispers in the corners, secrets shared sincere. The bartender's polishing the final glass. Time slips away like moving through the grass. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true. One more round, friends, from me and you. Let's toast to the night, to the stories we've spun. Here's to the laughter and to what's begun. The shadows are dancing as we linger still. Every clink of a glass, a memory to distill. Beneath this smoky haze, our feelings they unfurl. A tapestry of whispers in this corner of the world. The jukebox serenades us with a final tune, crooning to the lonely and the lovers under the moon. With every soft note, the end draws ever near. But in this fleeting moment, there's nothing to fear. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true. One more round, friends, for me and you. Let's toast to the night, to